Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 7th season of the Timeless Gamer, where the games and gamers grow old while the gaming experiences will forever remain timeless. Your gaming podcast show represented by Pinoy Retro Gaming. And we are now live in Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. And for the archive videos of previous episodes, you can still go to the YouTube channel of Timeless Gamer. Just go to Timeless Gamer PRG. It's all right there. And you can also listen to us talk Audible, Amazon Music, Spotify, iTunes, Google, Apple Podcast, Podcast Index, Listen Notes, Pandora, TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, and Deezer. All right. Let's
That was
stop that.
beautiful, by the way.
You should have warned us that you were going to do that, John.
I'm glad I wasn't warned. I'm glad that was like, what's going on, right?
Very much. Okay, very appropriate for the episode for tonight. That's all right. So previously on Timeless Gamer, so we were talking. So we discussed about the underestimated video games that all of us on the last time that we did the show, and there were a few games that we haven't really heard of. The games that we heard of, we scoffed at, but enjoyed after we gave it an honest try. So check those episodes, guys. Just that particular episode, it's all available there on our YouTube channel and also on the Pinoy Retro Gaming Facebook page. The underestimated video games. And for this episode, it's the Super Mario Brothers movie 2023 review discussion. And it's been a while since we did an actual movie review, like a movie review. The last time we did was the documentary of the console wars, I believe. And we've also discussed a few video game adaptation movies way back. So as a formal video game adaptation, no, a movie adaptation of a video game proper episode, this will be technically the very first one that we're gonna do. And speaking of being a while, it has been 30 years, everyone, since the first Super Mario Brothers movie uh, came out in the cinema. That was the year 1993, and it was a big deal at the time, considering how Nintendo and Super Mario Brothers revitalized the gaming industry during the late 80s and the early 90s. So people were excited about the movie. Sadly to say, it didn't really spark the same magic as the video games. Nintendo got burned badly, and it took them 3 decades before they said, "Okay, let's try again."
Yeah,
With
the
the
trauma
technology
was
now.
that great. The trauma was that great for
The
Nintendo.
promo was that great, and Nintendo said never again
Mhm.
until up until now. And all those gamers, we were the generation at the time. We said, "Oh well, maybe next time we'll wait." And some of us waited this long. Some of them end up dead waiting.
Mm.
They're never truly seeing the full glory that is Mario in the big screen. So
How
here
very
we are.
Lumally of you. How very Lumally of you. Okay.
Here, here we are with the Super Mario movie,
Mm.
2023.
Mm.
And for this particular episode, we are being joined by the panel right here. We got Sir JDM.
Hey, good evening, guys, and welcome to another episode of Timeless Gamer. And going to talk about the Super Mario Brothers animated film. And I would like to welcome my two friends here, Bob Hoskins and Luis Leguizamo. No, it's Captain Lou Albano and Danny Wells,
There you
the
go.
Danny
Yeah.
Wells.
Mm.
original live
Gianluca
action.
Stromo. All
Mm.
right. How about Sir Joel?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are. Welcome to our podcast episode of the Super Mario Brothers movie review. And, I'm absolutely sure there's going to be tons of strong opinions here, but we look forward to having everybody's input, not just from the panel, but also from the audience. So please, if you have thoughts, let us know, chat us up, and we'll do our very best to respond.
All right. And how about Sir Viraj?
All right, welcome to the to the stream. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'm sure you will enjoy it. And as mentioned just moments ago, this could be quite a transgressive topic because we'll agree on things,
Transgressive
disagree
topic.
on things, we'll agree on things, disagree on things. But let's see how we go with this. But I'm looking forward to this. So yeah, over back to you.
All right, thank you, Sir Viraj. And of course, joining us right now, Sir Ray.
Dun, 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 dun. What's up, guys? Hey, Viraj, look, oh. Sega.
All right. Oh my gosh. Introducing a Sega cart in the middle of a Super Mario Brothers movie review.
Very appropriate.
Really. I mean, I do have this background here. There's the controversy.
Oh, there you go. For those of you in the
I'm not a part of the Go campaign. Look.
There you go. For those of you in the audio podcast, Viraj is showcasing his Sega right now, a Sega background and Sega hoodie. And Raymond Retro Freak Gaming just showed us his Sega Genesis card, but he compromised with that one by showing a green shell from the Mario Kart games. Okay.
Waving the blue flag in the middle of a red territory. All right.
Yes.
And
I'm
hey,
a Nintendo fan, just for the sake of the viewers.
just for the record.
Raymond is a Nintendo fan. That's his disclaimer for it. There you go. Mhm.
All right. Oh, an unfamiliar face, ladies and gentlemen. You might be wondering who's that Pokemon over there.
What's up,
One of
Matt?
we got Matt. We got Sir Matt Bustle from joining us from North Carolina. Sir Matt, say hello to the fans down there.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Matt with Bustle Plays Games. Be sure to check me out on YouTube. And I mainly do a lot of horror games and stuff like this, so this is really exciting because I do love retro games, and I just recently did watch this movie, and I was really excited to be asked to talk about it. So I really appreciate you guys bringing me on, and I can't wait to dig into this.
All right. In regarding with Sir Matt, so with Sir Matt, we've been seeing Sir Matt on this show for quite a while now, and we are one of those we're one of those shows who shows appreciation to our viewers, just letting them join the show and talk about the stuff that we are also interested in. The one of the good things about the show, we meet a lot of people, whether through referral or just by casual viewers who just happen to watch our show, and that's a sign of progress in our part as well. In that, right, Sir Joe?
Matt is
Absolutely.
actually a horror game streamer, then, just like
Oh
me.
yeah, that's
And
true.
he plays some indie horror games,
Mhm.
and especially, syempre, Resident
Mm.
Evil.
And
And
I do
Yeah.
remember I introduced Matt to the glories of DOS gaming.
Yeah.
Matt has been introduced to some of the first-person dungeon crawlers and stuff like that. So yeah, Matt is one of our avid listeners, followers, viewers, and like Joe says, we always do our very best to try to give the chance, not just to the chats, but if you're really interested, hey, you might be featured as a guest in our panel too. So
Mhm.
just let us know, just talk to us, and you might get your shot.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Joe. And let's give it to Sir Matt. Sir Matt, could you read out loud our chat tat tat? How you all doing down there? Sir
Mhm,
Matt will just give a quick shout out to all of the people who are joining us right now there at the chat
mhm.
Where do I see that?
Yeah, it's in the
in the
comment
comment
section.
section.
Mhm, yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Who's up?
Yeah,
Blue Collar Otaku. What's up?
mm, mm,
They're on YouTube.
yes.
We
Hmm.
got Arc Neil Filippi.
Filippo Campo, yes, there
Philippe,
you go.
Yes, on Facebook.
Hmm.
Jade Jesus. I guess that's maybe how you say that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jay Jesus.
Facebook.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah,
doing such a
Filipino.
great job, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello,
No,
SDG.
Filipino syllables are very hard. We take from the
Matt
Spanish
is a modern day.
pronunciations. Yeah,
Matt is a
there you
modern
go.
day creature.
Very
Basically,
true. Very true.
I'm
the
so out of
Latino
my
way.
element. I'm so used to
Oh,
being
that's perfectly
something
fine.
else.
That's perfectly fine. We love throw. Well, that's fair warning. If you become a guest, you get thrown off the deep end right away. Okay.
I noticed. I noticed.
And of course, Dave Scott, good PM, sir. Good afternoon, good evening, Dave. Everything's good. And let's also say hi to, let's just say hi to Ray Q. Ray Q, who says, Nintendo also owns the rights of Super Mario Brothers adult film. I did not even know that. Okay, let's just
You know what?
put a
Actually, to
pin on
prepare
that.
for this show, I watch every one of them
Let let's
for
put a pin
added
on that,
content.
Ray. Okay, let's put a pin on that, Ray Q. But I'll swing around to that comment of yours later on. All
Oh,
right,
there's
but
spoilers.
yes, but great job, Matt. Excellent job. Thank you very much for reading out the chats. We do our very best to acknowledge everybody, and because we envision this podcast as like in the old days we called it a jam session, shall we say, a jam session where we just all kind of throw everybody's opinions out into the wind and react to it. So, getting back to Joe though.
Sir Dan is also right there in the chat.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, some
You took
strange
issue with
person
what
named
you
Dan
said,
Faulkner.
though. You
Mhm.
took issue with what you said because you mentioned that Nintendo revitalized the game, and it's the only in America because in Europe we never had this nonsense console crap that you go on about. All right,
Ah, that is.
Only in America.
Not correction. Correction withstand.
Now that is that's an amazing
In the
thing that we have to
US.
consider. In the US, it was a
In the
very
US.
different scene compared to the British scene, compared to the Asian scene, and that's another thing that we do here in the podcast. We try to analyze the gaming scene in a worldwide context. So yeah. Mhm.
All right. So for this particular episode, guys, let's just get into it. Sir Viraj will be taking over
Okay.
with the structure of the show. We'll do it in parts. The first part of the show we'll just do it non-spoiler, and then
Mm.
the other half will be full of spoilers depending on how we go. So
Seriously, there's a spoiler on this movie? I don't think
we'll
so.
we'll do spoilers
Well,
afterwards.
I mean, considering Raymond that you've seen the movie 5 times in a row already,
you've seen it
right?
5 times.
No wonder it's called $1.34 billion. I mean, it's the highest grossing video game movie of all
Yeah.
time already.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
good,
None
a
of
good part.
surpassing two Sonic Hedgehog movies.
And part of that income is from Raymond's buying the film
Yeah,
and
so
watching it over and over again.
I,
The views.
no comment.
No comment. All
Um,
right. Mm. Passing it
Right,
off to Viraj. then.
let's begin. So
Mm.
let's introduce this film now. Um, this has been going on for a while. Nintendo were in production with this film, and they were being very careful with their most prized IP because we all know what happened in 1993 with that Mario Brothers movie that came out. That is actually the that is actually the worst grossing like video game movie of all time at number 46.
Really? Give us the number. Give us the number, Viraj. How much?
It's called it's $38 million it made back in '93.
$38
And the budget?
million.
And the
I don't
budget
know what the
was
It's probably higher than it's probably high because you have
Well,
Ben
it says here on the Box Office Mojo, the original Super Mario Brothers movie from 1993. The budget was 48 million,
Ah,
Oh,
and the
back.
gross was only like 20, like almost 21 million worldwide. So not
Mm.
even half the budget.
I mean, very very quickly we'll go for the top 10 video game high
Mm.
score video game movies of all time. So obviously we know Mario Brothers is at the top. Okay,
Mm.
$1.256 billion and climbing. Okay, if we go higher, if we go beneath that, the next one is number 2 place is Warcraft, the World of Warcraft movie, and that's a live action. Very very creative. A lot of creative license were used with that. The game by Blizzard Entertainment. That made $439 million. So
Mm.
parity from the number 1 spot to 439 million. So you have that. Then you have in third place Pokemon Detective Pikachu at $433 million. Then you have in fourth place Rampage at $428 million. And then you have in fifth place Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which is a recent thing that came out just the other year at $405 million. Okay. Then you have Uncharted, okay, and that came out at $401 million. Angry Birds, which is $352 million, which isn't bad for an animated film. Prince of Persia, which I actually saw in cinemas, $336 million. And then you have Sonic the Hedgehog movie, the first one, that made $320 million. And then you have Resident Evil: The Final Chapter that made $312 million. That's obviously the last Resident Evil live action film they made. So an interesting top 10 we have there. But clearly the standout here is Super Mario movie at $1.34 million, which is just outstanding. And
Mm. And-
I mean, part of this is we are reviewing the film, but
Mhm.
also we're discussing why it was so successful. Okay, the movie was made in conjunction with Nintendo and Illumination, who were responsible for this Pickle Meme animations that I'm sure we're all aware of. I'm sure those of you who have taken the Stuart kits there will have seen this kid-friendly animation movie, which is actually really fun for adults as well, and appreciated what it was. So you have Illumination and Nintendo working together to make a really well animated film. I'm sure we can all agree that the animation on this movie was on point, and we have no issue with it. And that's one of the things that I think drew people into watching this film. And Nintendo were very particular with their IP and very specific when it came to the casting. We have Chris Pratt as Mario, which was quite controversial, in terms of a choice. I'm sure we can all understand what people were saying in social media platforms all over the place. With Chris Pratt as Mario, really, but you had Jack Black as Bowser. You got Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. You got Charlie Day as Luigi. And you got Anya Taylor-Joy as Princess Peach. So you got some really big heavy hitters in terms of voice acting cast, and they also bring crowds in as well. Because Anya Taylor-Joy, she got famous over COVID. She did some really great work for Netflix and all sorts of films. Most recent film I saw her in was The Menu, which she was amazing in. So a great actress and a great voice for the role. And obviously, you got all these characters. Jack Black needs no introduction. And Chris Pratt needs no introduction. So you've got some big heavy hitters there. So they're going to bring in the crowds, and also you got a story that ties in with the Mario Brothers and the Nintendo world that they've created. So it was actually very well done. Mario in itself, I know I talked about how this is the highest grossing film of all time. Super Mario, the franchise, people, it's very easy to forget this, but that is the second highest gaming franchise of all time, after Pokemon at 90 billion. Mario's worth 30 billion. That's how much that franchise is worth. It's number 2. So it was a foregone conclusion, you could argue, that this film was going to draw in the crowds and it was going to be a success because video games are so popular. So,
I mean, to interject, Viraj, it's the fact that a lot of people actually tend to underestimate video games. But if I remember correctly, video games are raking in more money than the movie industry and the music industry combined nowadays. Yeah, it's just people underestimate us gamers. What can I say? Yeah, I'm just passing it back to you, Viraj. Sorry about that.
You're precisely right. Out of the if you're looking at video game companies, if you look at the video game industry, the video game industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Yeah, and if you look at movies and music, they're in the millions, and a lot of movie studios, they're hoping to gross $1 billion on a movie. That's a huge success for them. And for an animated movie, it doesn't actually cost as much to make as a live action film, because a lot of it's CGI and art and all that. Really, a lot of the money probably went on the actors, the voice actors, and the talent that went into it. So this is a huge quarterly profit for Nintendo. Actually, I read an article that this and Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was the thing that made Nintendo a lot of money. That's it. They're done. They're happy with the money. So props to them. A very, very popular film. But let's move on to talking about the film in general. We're just going to talk about our initial thoughts on the movie. My initial thoughts, I'll talk about my initial thoughts. I took my mother to see it. I took my mother to see it. I don't have any kids, so I had to take my mother. What does that say about me?
Yeah, it's it's a good date. What can I say? Take your mom to a very special day. What can I say?
I mean, what I will say with when I took mom, because mum's quite simple when it comes to watching these films. She doesn't have an attention span when it comes to watching a lot of films. But this got through her attention because the animation was beautiful. The way the film started was funny. It was a bit of a comedy. I'm not going to go into detail yet because we're in the spoiler-free section. And the way that one scene changed to another, and the beautiful scenery of the CGI really does, enthrall you. You're enthralled by it, and you're drawn into it, and you're immersed into it. Okay, so what's Mario? What's his story? What's his relationship with his brother like? What's this adventure that they're about to go on? Oh, who's this character? And you're left never really bored. You want to know what's happened next, and that's what was good about this thing, and that's what I will say about this film. So initially, I really enjoyed this film in the cinema. I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a lot of fun, a lot of Easter eggs for those of us who love Nintendo and their video games. And it was just a lot of laughs in tune to what it is. And it's a great film for young children. So I actually liked it for what it was. It's not without its flaws, but I liked it. That's my initial thoughts. Back to let's see what you have to say, JDM, what were your thoughts on it?
Before JDM chimes in, though, we'd like to welcome one of our other co-panelists here,
Oh,
who has joined us, and I'm absolutely sure is raring to give his thoughts on the movie. On the movie too. We are being joined by Shin Mamuchu. Hello, Mamuchu.
oh, Captain
Hello,
Shin.
Chris Ninong, Chris Ninong
Hello.
Joel, Chris Ninong Mon, Chris JDM, Sir Matt Bussell, and Viraj, my good old pal. And good evening to everybody who's watching Timeless Gamers. This is going to be a very interesting episode, I say. I have a lot of things to say about it, but I do want to hear what everybody says first, then I'll try to jump
Mm, okay. Well, back to Viraj's passing. JDM, you have been called out by Viraj to express your non-spoiler thoughts about the Super Mario
Non-spoiler.
Brothers movie.
Alright.
Yes.
I saw it I guess last weekend, and I like most of the parts. They did cameos. It had references to the game. I enjoyed it, but I'll leave the my other thoughts on the once the we talk about the spoiler part of the
Hmm,
The heck, spoiler.
that's the meat and potatoes.
Yeah.
All right.
well,
Okay. That's very interesting. Okay, so you enjoyed it? Okay,
it's
fair
very
enough. You'll leave it to the next
yeah.
one. All right. Let's see what Mr. Matt Russell has to say. What are your initial thoughts on this film?
Yeah,
Over
man.
to you, Mr. Russell, our new man.
It it took me a while to get around to seeing it because I'm not huge on CG style movies like this. I really like
Understandable.
practical stuff, but like I really liked it a lot. I was laughing constantly. I loved all the references, as you said. Like there's a lot of
Mhm.
references. My favorite part of the movie is probably not even Mario. It's uh I don't know if it's technically spoiler to get into
Mm,
who else is in this movie.
We know
okay.
Cooper. I mentioned Cooper's in there. We mentioned Donkey Kong's in there. So
Yeah, so like I
spoilers.
really
It's in the
love
car.
everything that you get to see with the Kongs, and
Mm,
Yes.
that's my
Yes.
highlight of the movie, and that's
mm,
where I was like probably
mm,
that piqued my interest the most. I was so excited seeing that because I'm a big time Donkey Kong lover. I love Donkey Kong, you know,
mm.
so much. So I thought this movie was really good, and I would recommend definitely seeing it if you haven't seen it. It's
Mhm.
very entertaining. It's the humor is great. The
Mhm.
pacing is good too,
Mhm.
and it's extremely
Yes.
vivid and colorful. Like I feel like I'm playing like a Switch game almost. Like, but it's better. You know, it's got that feeling, and they did a really good job in comparison to obviously the '93 movie that I don't know what happened there. Too many drinks and a really bad script, and like that's what you got with that. During a time in the early '90s where
Bless you, whoever
practical
that was.
effects, you had Tom Savini, you had Rob Bottin, and like these incredible special effects artists, and I'm just so blown away when you look at the '93 movie. Why I mean, you have creatures like Godzilla, right?
Mhm.
How come they couldn't have done like a creature suit of Bowser? You know
Precisely.
why? But anyways, I digress. I
No,
really
no, it's not a digression at all. Actually, it is very pertinent to our discussion about the Super Mario Brothers movie because, let's face it, it's the Super Mario 1993 movie looms large as a shadow on this movie, and really they had to do a lot to overcome that stigma. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
All right.
it's yeah, but that's my thoughts. I don't want to get into any more until we get into the spoiler stuff.
mm,
But
Meat and
okay,
Mhm.
potatoes.
okay.
That's what this episode's about, meat and potatoes. But all right, thank you very much for your thought, Matt. All right, let's ask Saray, Mr. Retro Freak up there. Let's have a look at your initial thoughts and all your
Okay.
having up
Well,
there.
Here we go.
What do you
yeah,
have to say? What are
here.
your initial thoughts, my man?
Yes,
Up to you.
Raymond being our resident Nintendo fan. All right, Raymond, let's hear your non-spoiler thoughts.
Spoil. Talaga spoiler talaga.
You can
Okay.
hear Raymond.
You got
Ah,
this, Kuya.
Okay.
You got this.
You got this,
Must
you
Raymond.
got
spoil.
this, boy. You got this.
You got this, dog. You got this.
Yeah. Anyhow, ayan. Just for a thought,
Mhm.
the Super Mario Brothers movie revitalized the movie industry by means of the game movie industry by means of staying true to to the roots of the game,
Mm.
and to the characters and to the storyline of the game. Let's face it, some other movie adaptation of games are basically junk. For example, I'm a horror fan and I love Resident Evil, but the past few movies of Resident Evil series was a bit junk for me. Just like the Raccoon City, even though
Yes.
um the characters were there,
Mhm.
the 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 mansion, um, the outfits, and especially the Raccoon City police station was there. But the sense of giving us gamers the true sense of the storyline of the game was a bit trash. So
Mhm.
for this Super Mario Brothers movie, for me as a gamer, it stayed true to his to Nintendo and Illumination, for being stay true to the storyline of Super Mario. And the plot of Peach, and just like Sergio likes. Yeah. Uh,
Well,
yeah.
yeah,
At
We'll
the
get to
same
it.
time, what?
we'll get to that part. Trust me, we'll get to that part.
Mhm.
Teka lang, just for ano lang, for a question. It's Ron Jeremy ba for the ano? Ron
No,
Jeremy is the
that's Lou Albano. That's Lou Albano on the original Super Mario Brothers show. But
original Super Mario.
on the movie, it's Bob
Is that
Hoskins.
Ron Jeremy?
No, it's Bob Hoskins. You're talking about the
Okay.
different one. There's a different one with
British actor.
Ron Jeremy,
I
Quisino.
I thought it was Ron
I am
Jeremy.
not
No,
joking. I am not joking. There is
Oh
a
god.
Ron Jeremy version. It's actually a urban legend. If you could ever find
Eh,
the part two, because there's a part one, but nobody could find the part two.
But the heck, it was good.
Don't even ask why I know
He
it.
was a
Okay,
good. He was a
No, we're
good.
asking, Mamuchu. We're asking you.
look,
Anyhow, that's my
just
thoughts, Viraj.
yeah.
All right.
And
Thank you very much, Sir Raymond. I was hoping this would be PG-13.
yeah, it's a
Not
PG
anymore.
13. Don't worry.
Yeah,
So
we haven't gone
if you
into.
guys wants to know if who is Ron Jeremy, you look for Google. You
Well,
Google is the key, guys. So yeah, that's it.
as I often say, if you know, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
yes. Um,
Only 80s and 90s kid will know.
Yes.
With some VHS tapes and Betamax.
Bucket of chicken will never be the same.
oh dear.
Yeah.
But no, but go back to the film at hand and the point you raised. You're absolutely bang on there. I mean, out of all the video game movies I've seen in my life, I think that's the one that honors the source material quite well.
The
That's
most.
what it did do. It honored the source material of where it came from. I think the reason it could do it well is because it's an animation. You know, they could actually draw the world approximately the way Mario was intended, and they did it the way they wanted to do it. And it was very much. I wouldn't say. I don't want to use the word canon to the Mario franchise. I'll say it's canon to the Mario theme and story. And I think they did a good job with that. So that's a very good point you raised there, Raymond. Thank you very much for that. All right. Okay. So okay, over to you, Sir Joel. What was your initial thoughts, Sir Joel?
All right. I'll for my initial thoughts. Uh, I just saw the movie. Like a lot of the panel here, I did not rush to see the movie because life gets in the way. We get very busy with life, and a lot of things keep happening. But we saw the movie. I saw the movie with my daughter and my wife this past Thursday, and the our initial thoughts, visually it was extremely appealing. We saw it and we loved the vibrancy of the colors. We loved the differences in theme in worlds. There's Brooklyn, there's the Mushroom Kingdom, there's Donkey Kong Country. It was all extremely distinct when it came to the how it was visually presented. So it was a feast for the eyes. It was very captivating visually. Audio, of all the things in the movie, I would say the audio portion is the best part. if you ask me, the audio portion is the best part because if we're talking about faithfulness to the video games, the audio portion nailed every single aspect of the Super Mario theme, speaking on from an audio perspective. You hear the sound effects of from the Super Mario games. You hear the music themes from the Super Mario games. You can hear them kind of like happening when something big is happening. You can hear it in the background. In general, and somebody didn't. Some people don't even look into this. It's the sound mixing. It doesn't overwhelm you. It doesn't, the music, the sound effects, they don't overwhelm you. They go very well with the action that's happening on the screen. So props to whoever was doing the sound. Story wise, that's where it kind of falls flat on its face. My 10-year-old daughter, who I was watching the movie with, said that's it. It was very thin. It was very paper thin. Some would say paper Mario thin, shall we say?
Mm.
And it's really the kind of storyline that you would say it was very cobbled together. It was very by the books. It was very by the
Yes.
numbers, shall we say?
Yes.
And I kind of attribute it. The fault is mine because I introduced my daughter to anime, and she's really used to deep plots and lots of twists and turns and underlying themes. She knows how to look for all of that at 10 years old. And when she saw the movie, it's like this is surface level stuff. This isn't really something that I can dig deep into. Really, if you try to turn the page on this book, all the pages behind the first page are blank. So that's my assessment of the plot. So my non-spoiler verdict for the movie, as well as my daughter's, we would both give it a 7 out of 10. It's a good movie for everybody who is coming in blind to the movie. It's a good movie. It's a nice little pass through the whole thing movie. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but uh, would I put it on to watch it on purpose if I was given the chance? I would absolutely say no because I've seen it once and I'm good with it. But if my daughter's friends were coming over for what you call this, for a sleepover, and they ran out of things to do, like beating each other up with pillows or painting each other's nails, I could put it on, and the girls could probably just watch it for the next couple of hours before they fall asleep. So 7 out of 10 for me. That's my
Oh,
assessment of the Super Mario movie. Mhm.
very, very interesting score. Very interesting. You do raise a very interesting point about the
I'm so
sense.
disappointed in you, Tito Joel. Ay,
Why?
Tito Joel.
Oh,
Why,
well,
Raymond?
Char.
we've not even got to the meat and potatoes yet. We haven't got to the non-spoiler
Yeah,
section.
we haven't gotten into that part yet.
We're fighting for that.
Oh, I'm
What I
so
would
itching
say,
for that.
you did raise a very interesting point I want to touch on there,
Mm.
which was about did the film make sense? Now, I will say, if you don't know anything about Mario or the video game, and you come to this film,
Mhm.
I don't think it make no sense to you because you don't understand the source material. And it is one of those films where you have to understand the source material to
Oh,
appreciate.
I forgot to.
Because that's why the critics did actually have a go at it when it was released, and the users actually really loved the film. So I will say that I'm not saying that you wouldn't know anything about it, but come on, man, who hasn't heard of Super Mario Brothers this day
To
and
your,
age?
yeah, to your point, Barrage. Let me just. I completely forgot to add this one thing. I've only played Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, a little bit of Galaxy and Super Mario Odyssey. So I get a lot of the references in the film,
You,
but I'm coming away from the film feeling like it's not so much a film as it is a video game for the people who have played the Super Mario Brothers game to look for references in the film of the games that they've already played. So it's
mm,
not so much a video game, it's not so much a video game film. It's a video game of a video game, shall we say?
Yes.
would you
Mhm.
Yeah.
say it's a nostalgia trip? Is that what you're
Yes.
trying to say?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
nostalgia trip?
Yes.
It's you make some very interesting points
Back
there.
on your
I
roots
feel like
Shocking.
as a
The
gamer.
shocking point you just made out and it highlighted is you haven't played Super Mario World on Super Nintendo.
That's it.
Have you
Mhm.
not? How do you live?
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like
Play
I
that
feel
game
like
before you die. All
That's
right,
it.
this is what
You,
you
you
do.
gotta have to play
Super
it
Mario
for this
World,
game.
play
You
that
have
game
to.
before you die. At least
All
do that.
right. That's my homework for the weekend then.
That's right. Play Super Mario World. That's like the best 2D Mario game.
Seriously,
Understood.
Tito Joel, you haven't played
You gotta
Super
live
Mario
stream that.
1?
Let's put it this way. Like again, as I prefaced in the beginning of my review, life got in the way. After I gotten through Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, and 3, there was a renaissance of so many great games that I just had to all try out. So kind of Mario kind of fell by the wayside for me.
I
Somebody's
can,
gonna have an intervention soon.
Mm.
Somebody's gonna have an intervention.
I can forgive that, but let's play Super Mario. Let's right a wrong and let's play that game.
Okay, that's my homework for the weekend. Understood. Okay.
So Joe, okay, I
I'm
want to
so
know. Let's try
disappointed
and keep
with
this
Joel.
clean. So
Fine,
Joe,
fine, fine. Oh, actually, let's move on with you first because Joe really likes being the sweeper. He likes being the period or the cap end of the
right? So
conversation.
we'll talk to. So we'll leave it to Master Shin then. What do you have to
Mm,
say?
yes.
What's
Well,
your initial thoughts? Non spoiler.
initial thoughts. Okay. You guys pretty much hit most of it on the dot.
Mhm,
Though the way I see it, this movie was created by a committee that happens to have a bit of a heart when it comes to Nintendo. You
mm,
know how like we always say that like when you see a movie or a product that it was created by a committee, it's basically like a chimera of certain things that doesn't even make sense
mm,
and you pretty much don't like it. But what we have here is basically something that is made by a committee to make sure that it would hit every single demographic. But unfortunately, by making yourself too wide of a demographic, is that like you're going to fall short on most of them. You become like pretty much like jack of all trade, master of none. And this movie, without spoiling much, is basically a animator student's homework. It's like when I was watching it, I was originally trying to watch it more of like, let's go for the Easter eggs, let's go for the nostalgia trip, more
mm,
of that. But instead, I ended up whipping out more of my books when I was in college, especially like the hero's journey and whatnot. And it basically ticked every single boxes of the hero's journey. Now
mm,
I'm not gonna go into much details on what they are, but it's pretty much like Hollywood Basic 101 when it comes to this
mm,
movie. Without spoiling much about the story itself, it became so predictable that the moment that the character would say something, something's gonna happen, and it's like, okay, this is typical Hollywood script right here. And then the thing that I would say that would be that I really love, however, besides the nostalgia trip and the references here and there, is that yes, this is a very vibrant movie. I know that somebody have must have said, I don't know which person it was, but I heard that there was a live action in here. I don't think there's a live action in this movie. Everything is CGI. Now,
mm,
it's amazing to the point that every single part of the kingdom, from jumping into the Kong country all the way to the Mushroom Kingdom, even on Brooklyn itself, it has its own unique flavor that that they're going from one part of the movie to the next. Which is like Matt pretty much says flat out, is that it has really good pacing, and
mm,
with the visualization that they have in this movie, it really helps you pretty much go along with the journey rather than just like having this flash mob. It's like, oh, we're here now, oh, what's this, oh, but no, there's like a lot of good transition into this movie that pretty much my eyes weren't even hurt despite how freaking vibrant those damn mushrooms are. That's what I love about it. But if you're gonna ask me, I would say the same thing. I would say it's like a 7 or 7.5 out of 10.
mm,
My wife has seen it more than once. One time with my son, the other time basically with me to analyze it. Um, Apparently they really loved it. In my case, I was like, I really have to actually like it. To basically, I have to watch it without thinking that I have to analyze it in order to really enjoy it. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10.
Oh, a quick question, Shin. Which book was that one? Was it The Hero of a Thousand Faces by Joseph Campbell?
The Man with a Thousand Faces, yes.
Yeah, okay. That was a really good one. Okay. Hmm.
Well, so that's quite an interesting point you made. You gave us pretty much a similar rating to what Sir Joel's given us. So
Mm,
very interesting points you raised there. I mean, maybe you're right. Maybe Nintendo, who are responsible for the story, had too many
Yeah.
fingers in a lot of pies, and they
Yeah,
tried to.
you basically like the way I picture it, Viraj, is that you have like a committee of people that loves Nintendo, and then you have a committee of people that basically are from the Hollywood department, and you also have like a committee of people that pretty much listens to the fans, and they
mm,
all sat down into this one room and said, we need this, we need this, we need this, maybe we could add this, And pretty much that's what we got over this one, which is a product that was pretty much refined. But the only problem is that it doesn't give you the satisfaction that mostly a lot of people would expect in a movie. Because let's face it, we all come to a movie because we were expecting that it will make us feel good in certain ways, whether beginning, middle, and end. But
Mm.
the problem with this one is that it tries to impress so much of a large demographic that it's trying to aim for our kids. It's aiming for us. It's also aiming for the non-Mario fans out there. It's also aiming for the Sonic fans to probably take a bit of a consideration and look at their movie instead. So you have like all this amalgam of people that pretty much they want to impress. That this is the product that we have. It could have been a 9 out of 10, but it became a 7.5 for me.
Mhm.
Okay. Fair
Um,
enough.
s- Sorry to have to say this, Shin, but you're being called out in the chats right now. By you're being
What?
called out
I
in
didn't say
chat.
I like it. I like what they did, but not the story. Okay, fair enough.
That
Fine,
that's
fair
Miss
enough.
Momo. That's Miss Momo who says,
So,
"Well, she didn't. She likes what they did, but not the storyline." You're being
How
called
Okay,
out,
come
let
she
me
Shin.
like
rephrase
bites
it.
the storyline?
we started a bit with the
Why?
Let me
Why?
rephrase that, hon. I'm sorry. You meant you like the movie, but not the storyline. I'm sorry.
All right.
Why?
But then again, you can hear Raymond taking a lot of offense left and right now. He's really flipping his wig.
He's
'Cause
gonna
I
kill
mean,
us. We get to the spoiler.
You
Anyway,
guys are all gamers, then you don't like the storyline of tayo?
let's,
Oh,
But you're
wait till we
telling
get to
me
the
that
spoiler
you
part.
like
We'll get to the
Sonic the
spoiler part.
Hedgehog more than this Super Mario movie?
oh my gosh, Raymond, it's kind of hard waiting for the 1 hour mark right now because we're really chomping at the bit to go into the spoiler territory because we're with a lot of our beef is actually spoiler territory. So for those of you who are interested in the meatier part or the spoilery part, wait until the 1 hour mark. But we will warn everybody if you guys want non-spoilers because despite the fact that the movie has made $1.3 billion in the box office, there are still some people who haven't seen it. So yeah, just letting you guys know. Anyway, back to you, Viraj.
yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much for your transgressive views there. It's already bubbling away now. Raymond's gonna go. He's gonna get a machete out, man. I can see it.
I know he's about ready to pull it out. What can I say?
Going to eat the
Let's
mushroom.
move on to. Oh God, I'm dreading this moment when Sir Joe opens it. But let's see what Sir Joe has to say. Okay, let's try and keep it clean, my friend.
Yes, Joe.
Here we
Non-spoiler
go.
review. Here we go.
Here
Right,
we
let's
go.
go. Here we go. Let's go.
Joe, give me a good one.
Mm. You're gonna be disappointed, Raymond. You're gonna be disappointed. I'm telling you. All right, Joe.
I was there 30 years ago.
You really have
30
to. You
years
really have
ago,
to
I
go
was
there.
And when they said they're going to make a Super Mario Brothers live action movie, I was one of those kids who really shit their pants. I was excited at the time. And when I was there, I saw it as a kid. What the fuck is this?
Show me in the mushroom where they touch you. Show me in the mushroom where they touch you. Come on.
They're right there.
In the
The
fields?
mushroom,
I knew it
the,
was in
mu-
the fields.
the mushroom made it grow. Fiery, fiery. And then 30 years later, they said they're gonna make another one. And I'm like, okay, sure. I saw it. I was like, what the fuck is this?
I have a far more appreciation of my
Hey, Raymond's
childhood
gonna-
now.
He's gonna come for you, man.
This this movie is nothing but an hour and 30 minutes of Nintendo commercials for their games.
Ooh, ooh. Hey.
What is
That's
this?
a nice take.
What is this? Oh, all right. We got it. Okay, so they played it. Oh, all right. Nintendo. Okay, it was a low bar. It was a low bar after 1993. Okay, let's get that straight. I'm one of those people who grew up during the 90s with the trifecta of video games from Hollywood: Mortal Kombat, Street
Mhm.
Fighter,
Mhm.
and then of course Super Mario Brothers. The trifecta of the 90s Hollywood video game adaptations, right?
Mhm.
And with Super Mario Brothers since 1993, it's a low bar to pass.
Mm.
looking at the movie now. And that being said, the panel, each panel here, they did raise up some good points on why they like the movie, what the movie did right.
Mhm.
And I will stand on my opinion that it is just a glorified 1 hour 30 minute uh, commercial for their video games.
Are
And
You
you
don't
saying is Adam
deserve the
Sandler is
T-shirt.
behind it?
You don't deserve the shirt.
right.
Joy is now holding up his shirt. There you go. Which said,
Although
for
that being
Danny. There
said,
you go.
okay, so that being said,
Mm,
like Sir Joel, so I'm only familiar with the first, no, not really the first, but the first three. But I played more on Super Mario Brothers one on the NES.
mhm,
I don't even at the time we didn't even know there was a second one. And
mhm,
then my wife is more familiar with Mario Brothers 3, and we watched this movie like 3 days ago. Just
mhm,
prepare for the show.
mhm,
I watched. I rewatched the 1993 movie just to add context to this review,
mhm.
and I also watched the porn parody as well earlier,
So you
just to
have the
relieve,
other copy.
just to relieve some stress.
Share it.
I need to rest. I need to
Sauce,
sleep.
please.
No.
I need to sleep.
Joe is a
And yeah,
completionist. You have
Sir
to
I'm
give
a
Joe,
him
give me
yeah,
some
yeah.
links.
Yeah, sauce, please. Thank you.
pass the links.
Oh, the sauce. um, and yeah, so well, I will tear this movie apart. On the spoiler review
I don't know if
later
that's the
on.
proper sentence she would say after mentioning Ron Jeremy's Super Mario Brothers. She would say tear something
Oh
apart.
no! I was almost there. Like I wanna tear that up as
Oh
personally.
wow,
I
we're
want to tear
going
that
there.
we are going there. And yeah, so like I mentioned, each one of the panel here raised their valid points, and we will get through one of those later on. If there's one thing that I like about the movie, there's one particular character here. It's a minor character, but every time that character is in the screen, it brings joy to my heart, despite the very
Speech.
depressive attitude
Speech.
and and the themes that
Speech.
it's trying to portray.
Speech.
I love that character, but let's get it on with the spoiler part. So
Mm,
that's
okay.
for me
That's-
for now,
I mean,
spoiler wise, non-spoiler wise.
you raised one point that really did get to me because it's something I resonate with you on. I'm sure everyone in this panel will agree
Mm,
that there, yes, and this goes to what Mr. Shin said, which is, Nintendo were obviously it's a tick pocket. Well, it's manufactured in a certain way where they're trying to tick boxes for certain demographics, and it's also you made a point about an advert for their video game, didn't you? They're advertising their franchises in this movie, and we'll touch on that in a bit. And that's it. It's a perfectly great marketing ploy because not only did it make them a lot of money, this film,
mm,
it's also going to be like one of the things that I like doing. Like some of you know who are in the panel with me know that I like to buy and resell retro video games. But I know this Christmas, Mario, Donkey Kong, and Mario Kart are going to be big games, and you know why. You know why. I'm not
yeah.
going to look at me buying that stock to fulfill that demand because of this film. So
Mhm.
you make a very, very good point. But anyway, let's move on to there's a panelist who can't be with us today, and I'd like to move on to what his video was. My dear friend, my mentor as part of the Sega Mega Masters, which I run on YouTube, so Dan, it'll be interesting to see what his thoughts are on the Super Mario. I don't know if there's any spoilers in his one. Is it spoiler free?
Non-spoiler free. Not well, semi.
So there
So
may
with
be spoilers, good people. So you might want to cover your ears because there may be spoilers in here.
yes,
And we are
and we
moving towards the
let
spoiler section
yes,
of the channel
let
now. So
this serve as the intro to the spoiler section of the show.
yes.
Okay.
All right. So those of you who have not seen the film and don't want to be spoiled, well, what are you doing? Go see the film. All right. Those of you who have seen it, then let's watch. Let's have some fun. Let's go. Bring it with Dan. Let's do this.
Hello to everyone out there, and hello to the Timeless Gamer crew. I hope you enjoyed this new movie, the Super Mario movie. I'm here obviously to pass my thoughts on it, so we'll get straight into it then. Let's look at the positives. I thought there was two really excellent scenes in it. I thought the introduction was fantastic, and how it introduced Bowser was really cool. I really enjoyed the fight scene with Donkey Kong. I thought that was set up really nicely. And I thought that the end few sequences, the run of sequences at the end of the film were quite well done as well. So it definitely had some positives. Some more positives I'm going to focus on are that it had an excellent selection of 80s rock tracks. We had a bit of AC/DC, a bit of Bonnie Tyler and ELO. There probably could have been a few more in there, but I liked what they picked, and I like the way they use it as well. So that was a big positive for me. To extend on that music theme, I thought Jack Black were brilliant in it. I thought Jack Black as Bowser and his little musical numbers were really good. And I wish he'd have got a bit more screen time, to be honest. But I can understand why he didn't. But he was the highlight of the film for me from a character point of view, definitely. Other little positives, I'd say I was impressed with the way that they incorporated the power-ups and the general Mario elements. There were a lot of great, of familiar elements in there. The way they transitioned them from game to film was very commendable and very good indeed. And obviously, it got all your Easter eggs in. If you're somebody who just likes Mario and wants to see Mario things on a big screen, then this will probably be more than enough for you, because that's really what the film's about. It is essentially a big Nintendo commercial, really. But from that angle, if that's what you demand from a film, then fair play to you. Unfortunately, that's not enough for me, really. I like a film to be a film, even though this is meant to be a kids' film. I still want to watch it and enjoy it. There's a lot of kids' films out there that I've watched with family and friends, and I've really enjoyed. Such as Toy Story, and Chicken Run, films like that. So that definitely didn't hit that level of quality for me, unfortunately. And so we'll get to the film's negatives, of which for me there's quite a few. I thought outside of those excellent scenes which I've mentioned, I thought it were quite a boring film, to be honest. I thought the first act in particular were really boring, and I expect for something like a Mario film, especially when it's fully animated and it's fully set in the Mario world, to be quite epic and adventurous, and I didn't get any of that. I got the first part of the film was just basically a setup for a walk to Donkey Kong country, and it didn't do much for me, unfortunately. There were no real there were no egress of Mario getting to fight Bowser. It was literally just, here we are, Mario, we've met you. We go to get the Kong's help. We fight Bowser. It would have been really nice to have seen him take on and beat some of the other popular Mario characters and enemies along that journey. It weren't much of a journey, really. Quite boring. When the action did kick off, it just you had to be really familiar with the games for it to hit home. Like, there's one point where Peach rescues Toad through pulling out her umbrella. Now, that umbrella is great because anyone who's played Mario Kart or various Mario games will know that's what she's got. But I'd never seen that, because the Mario games that I'd played were pretty much 80s and 90s Mario games where she'd not got that. So that there were quite a few elements of that in the film, and they were just kind of like a bit jarring for me. I kind of just didn't really understand what was happening until I spoke to people about it after. So I mean, you expect it to be Mario focused. I kind of get that, but I think they could have set those things up a bit better, to be honest. I really didn't like the fact that they rescued Luigi, not the princess. I just thought, that just felt odd. That was just weird. Luigi's, he was separated from Mario for a long time, and they could have got a real good character, bit of banter going between the two brothers, and I would like to have seen that, and there were none of that. So again, that were a bit disappointing. And despite what a lot of people have said since the film's release, I didn't like Chris Pratt's voice. I thought again it was boring. I don't expect to see the traditional "It's me, Mario." I totally get why Chris Martinez style would be way too much for a film of this length. But I still wanted more from Pratt. Pratt he sounded so flat and lifeless. And I thought to myself, well, Mario's selling point in this film is that he doesn't give up. Is that he's a trier, a doer, heroic person. I didn't get any of that from Pratt. You know what I mean? I didn't get any sense of I'm determined to constantly win. I didn't get any sense of like blind optimism of it's going to be great. He doesn't have to be over the top. Pratt did just sound like a plumber, like a crap fat plumber. And for me, the idea is Mario is a crap fat plumber in one world who finds himself and evolves. Again, get a bit more creative, you know what I mean? Nintendo and Illumination. And for me, this did feel like a typical flat Illumination film. The Illumination films I've seen just don't really have any spark. The checkbox movies, they take, right, what the fans want to see Mario, they want to see this character, they want to see this animation, they want to see these worlds. Let's take that mathematical approach and make a mathematical dollar making movie, and that's what this has done. It's the Nintendo fans, hardcore fanboys, they will buy any turd if it's got a Nintendo logo on. That's pretty much what they've done with this, really. I don't think I would call it a turd. I would call it an absolutely bang average, a bang average film with a few good scenes worth seeing. But I'll never watch it again. I didn't mind watching it. I certainly didn't come away thinking, "Oh, give me those hours of my life back." I just thought it was really, really bang average. And I return to my point with people. I spoke to people since about it, and they excused it like saying, "Well, it's a kids' film. What do you expect? You don't expect, the Shawshank Redemption. You don't expect, a Shakespearean opera style, or operatic style deep movie." And I don't want a deep movie, but I want an exciting movie. I want an adventurous movie to be to give me some tension. And the tensest part in this film were where Mario were getting a lift in a Kong taxi, and he went round the corner and he had to hang on to it. And that were it. The rest of the film, I was like, I'm not remotely invested or tensed at all. I'm just watching a Nintendo advert. So for me, this is a 5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10. I think if you're a Nintendo diehard fan and you just want to see Nintendo things and brainwash your children too, like Nintendo have brainwashed many Nintendo fans. I think this is be a good film for you, to be fair. But for people who actually want to watch an enjoyable film, whether it be in a Mario film or just an enjoyable kids film, like I say, there's plenty of enjoyable kids films out there that have a real great sense of excitement and adventure. And this don't. This were a film that I've forgotten about it now, and I'll never watch it again. And when a sequel comes out, I have no intention of paying to watch it. I'll watch it when it comes out for for free. So there's my thoughts on it, boys. I hope you enjoyed it more than I did.
And then a freaking training montage happened. But I was like, dude, does it really?
It did just sound like a plumber, like a crap fat plumber. And for me, the idea is Mario is a crap fat plumber in one world who finds himself and evolves. Again, get a bit more creative. You know what I mean? Nintendo and Illumination. And for me, this did feel like a typical flat Illumination film. The Illumination films I've seen just don't really have any spark. The checkbox movies, they take, right, what the fans want to see Mario, they want to see this character, they want to see this animation, they want to see these worlds. Let's take that mathematical approach and make a mathematical dollar making movie, and that's what this has done. It's the Nintendo fans, hardcore fanboys, they will buy any turd if it's got a Nintendo logo on. That's pretty much what they've done with this, really. I don't think I wouldn't call it a turd. I would call it an absolutely bang average, a bang average film, with a few good scenes worth seeing. But I'll never watch it again. I didn't mind watching it. I certainly didn't come away thinking, "Oh, give me those hours of my life back." I just thought it was really, really bang average. And I return to my point with people. I spoke to people since about it, and they excused it like saying, "Well, it's a kids' film. What do you expect? You don't expect, the Shawshank Redemption. You don't expect, a Shakespearean opera style, or operatic style deep movie." And I don't want a deep movie, but I want an exciting movie. I want an adventurous movie to be to give me some tension. And the tensest part in this film were where Mario were getting a lift in a cone taxi, and he went round a corner and he had to hang on to it. And that were it. The rest of the film, I was like, I'm not remotely invested or tensed at all. I'm just watching a Nintendo advert. So for me, this is a 5 out of 10. A 5 out of 10. I think if you're a Nintendo diehard fan and you just want to see Nintendo things and brainwash your children too, like Nintendo have brainwashed many Nintendo fans. I think this is be a good film for you, to be fair. But for people who actually want to watch an enjoyable film, whether it be in a Mario film or just an enjoyable kids film, like I said, there's plenty of enjoyable kids films out there that have a real great sense of excitement and adventure. And this were a film that I've forgotten about it now, and I'll never watch it again. And when a sequel comes out, I have no intention of paying to watch it. I'll watch it when it comes out for free. So there's my thoughts on it, boys. I hope you enjoyed it more than I did. But yeah, there we go.
All right, let's rip on this movie now. Let's go.
All right, let's do this.
I
Yeah,
know. I can see. Look, his face has gone red.
yeah. Raven's face is contorted right now.
He can't hold it in any longer. But let's let Sir Raymond speak. He needs to talk about his passion for the film, what he thinks about the film. This is a spoiler area now, so those of you who've been warned. Raymond, tell me your thoughts. What do you think about the film? Like, with everything that's been said, right? And say what you want. Right? That's it. Gloves are off.
Yeah, gloves are off, Raven. Just go for it. If you want to speak in Tagalog, I'll translate for you.
We got this. We got this. Yeah. You got this.
And it's a good movie based on my feelings. Yan. And kumbaga, tatagalogin ko na lang para ano.
Go
Mas
ahead.
maganda siyang movie kaysa sa Sonic. That's it. I said it. Yan.
And Raymond said that it's a better movie than Sonic.
I said it. I said it.
There you go.
And
Round one, fight.
Actually, so
I think they're both the same, to be
as
honest.
a movie goer, my thoughts is if you like the movie, I don't care about the plots or anything. Or it's a feel good movie for me and as a gamer. So I watch it, I enjoy it. No thinking about what's the plot or what's the thing because it's a game movie. It's supposed to have the elements of the movie itself, the game itself. So for me, I enjoyed it. I don't know if you guys are actually gamers because you didn't enjoy it. Heck,
Trust me, Coach Ninong, we are.
no.
I enjoyed it. Hey, I enjoyed it. I like the film.
Did I say enjoy it?
Nostalgic sake, yes.
That is a gamer.
I
I
think
don't
you-
know
I think
if
you- well, look,
Sergio,
I think you have to be familiar with Nintendo
JDM,
IP.
Tito Joel,
Yeah.
I think, look,
are
I'm not
gamers.
saying it's a bad film.
They
I'm not saying it's a bad film. It has its
enjoyed
flaws.
the movie.
It made me
itself.
feel like I was holding my controller waiting to actually play.
Oh, there you go. That's
I was
a
It's a
good way of
cutscene that
doing
lasts
that.
too
There you go.
long.
It's a cutscene compilation movie.
There you
Like,
go.
Yeah.
That's
Like Metal Gear Solid.
Pretty much.
Solid.
I mean, it's,
Let Raymond finish his point. Let Raymond finish his point. Go ahead, Raymond.
Actually, that's my point for
Mm.
you guys.
Mhm.
If you are really a gamer and
Mhm.
you're looking forward with the movie and you
Mhm.
actually saw the movie,
Yeah.
and the elements is already there.
Mhm.
Hindi ka ba mag-enjoy? You would you not be enjoying the game? The
Raymond,
movie?
to Raymond is saying, to paraphrase Maximus from Gladiator, are you not entertained? There
Are
you
you
go.
not entertained, guys?
There you go.
Seriously.
Mhm.
Well, I had more enjoyment in eating a Cadbury chocolate with my son than actually watching this movie. And I
Ooh, there
pretty
you
much
go.
have the same thing.
I have to concede to what Sir Raymond said because when he started talking, he said,
Mm.
"I feel, I
Mhm.
feel."
Yes.
And one thing I've learned is you can't argue with feelings.
Yes.
Okay,
Very
fine.
true. Very
That's
true.
how he felt, and that's his opinion, and I have to respect it. And I
Yes,
personally felt
absolutely.
it was a good film for what it is. And
Mhm.
I know Dan made a point in his review. And I was actually the one that said, "What do you expect this to be? Some sort of operatic cinematic masterpiece?" It was me who said it to him.
Yes.
Yeah, what do you
I
expect?
do.
The kids-
I am.
Kids movie. It's a kids'
Mhm.
film. You're a grown ass man. You're not going to expect to have all these adult content. You're not going to get Peach in a bikini like Sir Joe
Well-
wanted. It's not going to
Well.
happen.
And actually, guys,
Mm.
Nintendo and Illumination didn't targeted the new generation. It targeted the old generation.
Mm.
Yeah, that's
So
that's
basically,
oh, we're
all
gonna
the
get to that
people
one.
that watch the movie are the old generation. They come on, guys.
So,
Mm.
to
Try
counterpoint
for
that.
Something
Counterpoint.
different.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's a good film fundamentally. I think Sir Dan was a bit harsh with his 5 out of 10 rating. I think that's too low for what it is.
Mm.
I'd give it a 6. and a 6 is still good. That's a 3-star rating, 3 stars out of 5 if you look at it. And I do think it's an enjoyable film. Obviously, because I'm an older man, I have to also recognize that yes, it is a younger person's film. I also understand, like with what Shin said in his point about how Nintendo did sort of, there was a tick box exercise. That's what he was saying, and it's been manufactured in a certain way to appeal to so many people. And yes, I am going to like this film. Yes, there were some really funny aspects of it, some really interesting things. The problem with trying to please so many people is it's going to lose a bit of consistency with the people that it's not going to please. So you're not going to get that.
Bingo.
That's what it
Exactly.
is. That's this. If there's a failing this film had, it was that. And you know what? Nintendo, this was a money-making exercise. And what did they do? They made the money. They made the money.
Yes.
They did tick those boxes. They got me to watch it. I took my mother to watch it. Someone took their kids to see it here. Some people have seen it twice.
As a counterpoint, though, Viraj.
So that's the point. I would say yes, from a financial point of view, they're creating a product like their video games that appeal to a lot of people. Whether you want to play them again or want to watch the film again, that's something to be said. It was successful because it made the money and it made a lot of people happy. And yes, it's a film where you do have to switch your brain off because it hasn't got a depth in terms of plot. You understand that?
Well, counterpoint actually, Viraj. In my case, I subsequently, actually before I mention anything first, I'd like to acknowledge a few more people in the chat. Baruna Royka, Gami Tagle has been having a great time on Twitch. Hello, Gami. I'm happy that you're having a great time over there. Shout out to all our viewers on Twitch as well. And of course, Reikyu says, here on Facebook. So basically, the whole review is I like Mario, so I like the movie, and I don't like Mario, so I don't like the movie.
A little bit ambiguous.
Yeah. In my case, actually, my point being is that you're saying that it's not supposed to be some sort of Shakespearean thing. I would tend to kind of come from
I
it
have to
from the point of view.
disagree.
Yeah, in my
Yeah,
case,
well,
it's because of the fact that I know the writers, I know the directors. It's the guys who actually did Teen Titans Go, and I absolutely love their '80s references every time they do it. They know how to do multi-layered stuff because when you watch Teen Titans Go, it doesn't just appeal to the kids who are hopped up on adrenaline and sugar. It also appeals to all the guys who are watching it who are familiar with how it was back in the '80s. Whenever they did '80s stuff, they nail every single '80s reference. So
Yes.
and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's just the
Yeah.
fact that I guess expectations, because I know how these people what these people were capable of in their Teen Titans Go creation, in their Teen Titans Go series. So I kind of was looking forward to a little bit more from them in terms of references the feel of the '80s, shall we say. And I know it's a little problematic because of the fact
I
that
would I would
you
also
come
like to
into it
add.
with a lot of expectations. Anyway, Shin,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. I will also add I would like to add this. Like exactly. Like Christina Joel pretty much pointed it out that like these writers are really great writers. Now,
Mhm.
okay, let's try to remove the nostalgia. Let's remove the '80s music references and whatnot.
Mm.
Let's face it, they pretty much played all of our heartstrings with the nostalgia and the music and the background music and whatnot. But there's one thing that they actually forgot. Not It's not that they forgot it, but I believe that the reason why they didn't put it in is because they're already either lacking of funds or the movie is running way too long, and that is resolution. They actually lack resolution in this story. Why do I say that? First and foremost, if you watch, since we're already on the spoiler part here, ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
if you begin in the movie, they pretty much they take the whole part of the hero's journey here. That our hero is actually down on his luck, right? Not only does he down on his luck, but he also showed us a bit of a depth about his dislike on mushroom. All right. He
Mm.
also got he basically have a bully that makes fun of him. He also has his family who doesn't want to believe in him, except for Luigi who basically loves him, but he doesn't like mushroom. Okay, we're already on the mushroom part, all right? He was forced to eat a mushroom and then a freaking training montage happened. But I was like, dude, does it really need to be called out? Okay, fine, a training montage. We're going for the '80s storytelling here. Fine, let's go. But
Mm.
where is the resolution? If I was the one who was writing this, I would actually have Mario, Luigi, Peach, Toad basically get invited by Mario's family in dinner. And then, first time ever, Mario's dad will actually put pasta on Mario's plate without mushroom. And instead, Mario decides to put a lot of mushroom because what we need for Mario is that he needs to have a character depth and an arc. He doesn't have any character arc in here. He did not even change. A character that's going on a hero journey should have a big change towards the end. He had a depth moment when he was in the Punch Out Pizzeria. However, the resolution is lacking, especially towards the end. And pretty much one thing that I don't get about the story plot now that I'm about it. How the hell does Luigi manages to actually be on an action mode when for the rest of the movie he was basically locked up?
Well,
That's true. Very good. Yes.
Well
I'll
said.
compare, I'll compare their bromance to Andrew Tate and his brother, yeah, because his brother nobody cares about, yeah. But when Andrew Tate and they got together, they work together all together. I think that's the story in it. You know, the Andrew Tate they work together, but ever since Andrew Tate it's fine. But nobody cares about Kristen Tate. It's one of them ones, you know.
Wait. I'm just going to ask Mamuchu.
Yes.
Kailangan ba may depth yung storyline ng game?
Yes. You know what? You know
Raymond
what,
is
Nicholas?
asking, does the storyline have to have depth? Okay.
Yes, it has to have
If,
depth.
if the actually game itself is not that deep.
Of course it does, because it's a film.
Yeah,
It's a
it has to be
film.
because it's a yes, because it's a film. Number one.
That's still
Without
problem
depth,
with it.
bro.
Number two. Number
You're not
two.
interacting.
Yes.
You're not
Yeah, because
interacting
he's Donkey
Yeah.
with
Kong.
the screen.
Yeah.
You-
To answer
wanna-
to answer
you wanna
Kuya's
But I remind
ano,
you guys that in watching a movie, you should feel good. It's a feel good movie. So, um, using your mind in the movie itself is quite stressing. So, kung ikaw,
but
actually,
but
any goer siguro na movie goers na hindi ganun kailangan ng masyadong depth unlike Gen Z people. Sorry to say, mga Gen Z people are too depth, masyadong
Oh,
malalim.
Raymond is saying that there's the Gen Z people require depth in everything.
Depth.
Okay.
Unlike for us, bakit ang Super Mario 1 ba sa Nintendo has a depth on the movie on the game?
Raymond is
okay,
saying that
okay, I will answer it.
Super Mario Wonder movie did not have any depth whatsoever. The game.
So
The game.
it's like this.
So
You're playing the movie, you're playing the game and you're watching the movie itself as an adult and as a gamer.
I want to hear what Dan has to say.
Ayan,
Dan, go ahead.
Yes.
so you've already said you prefer it to the Sonic movie, okay? So to pick up on what Shin said, the Sonic movie at the start of the movie, he's got no friends. He's going crazy because he's got no friends and he's got no family. At the end of the film, he finds friends, he finds a family, and he finds himself. It's a
But the
journey.
movie
It's
sucks,
emotional for that.
honestly.
All right, the war has now formally begun.
Whereas
I'm just saying it.
there's
No,
not
No, but let me try to go ahead, Viraj. Go ahead.
Even though it has
okay.
depth, even though it has the storyline that you said, guys, still the movie sucks. Why?
Justify it. Go ahead, Raymond.
We're listening. Go on.
Because of the
Yeah. I'll
let's
choose
face
the
it,
next one wisely, yeah?
revenue of
Right.
the movie. Number one,
Mm.
the revenue of the movie, and then that's you said it, the storyline. It's not
Mhm.
it's not part of the movie. It's not part of the game.
Yeah, but that's you see that's
Okay.
the issue here is that like we're trying to actually compare this movie
Mhm.
into like years and years of generations of Mario. Of course, we're not gonna have any depth on the first Mario game because it was just a simple 8-bit video game. But as the game progresses through the generation, people start to add stories. People start to add canon parts in there. People start to add kingdoms, worlds, and whatnot. But the problem with this movie is that like if we're going to heavily rely on what the game materials are at over there, we're pretty much just supporting Nintendo, throwing anything that is Mario related, and at the same time, pretty much like, oh, well, as long as like Mario's in the picture, I'm going to buy it. Oh, as long as Mario is in it, I'm gonna watch it. But like the quality of the movie itself is being questioned because it's basically them saying that Nintendo can do whatever they want and pretty much get away with it. Now, we
Yun
as
yung
like
nangyari.
moviegoers,
Actually, yun ang nangyari, Mamuchu.
yeah,
That's
exactly.
the thing.
Yeah,
And
and that's the thing that
Actually, right now, Nintendo and Illumination are having a 5-year contract. That means there's
It's
movies
gonna
that
be a
will
Mario
be,
movie too. Is that what you're
yeah.
saying? Yeah. Yeah, but there's
Mm,
So
movie
I
two.
guess
So
the
you
depth
have
that you would like, the
mm,
depth that you will like, the storyline that you would like to see
mm.
will be on the different movies that Illumination and Nintendo will do.
Yeah.
So
So
Well,
Raymond
don't
is
how's this?
don't
saying
watch
that.
this one. So don't watch
Mm,
this
How's
one.
this?
Wait
Like,
for the
yeah,
next one.
how's this, Quiz Ninong, Quiz Ninong Mond? Basically what we're trying to say here is that we're not saying that like the movie sucks and we don't want to see another Mario movie again. But what we're
mm.
trying to do here is
Basically,
that like
Mario doesn't suck. Suck.
yeah,
No, no.
hold on,
Don't say it.
hold on,
Don't say
Chris
it.
Nino. Yeah, hold on for a second. What I'm trying to say here is this: we're not trying to say that they should not make another Mario movie, but instead, what we Dan and everybody else here is saying is that like, okay, you've reached a certain threshold here. Why don't you do better next time, or at least make it better the next movie would come out?
Mm,
Because if this is the quality that you're giving us, and we know that we were short-handed in certain aspect as far as like being a video game movie, okay, you tick the boxes into 1:1 ratio with the characters. They're very loyal, amazing. The world, pretty amazing, whatnot. Fine. The story plot is basically an amalgamation of Mario 1, 2, and 3, a little bit of Mario's Luigi's Mansion over here, a little bit of Sunshine over there, a little bit of Mario Kart. We get that. They combined everything to basically make a plot from scratch. We get
Yeah.
that. But
mm,
maybe if they're going to make another Mario movie, just like if Sonic has a sequel and whatnot, why don't they try to go and push it further and maybe let us have a much more bigger depth for these characters? Because each and every characters didn't really have any kind of like a resolution or a happy ending. It's so open ended. Like, oh, hey, we've rescued who did I rescue? Well, let me see. Well, I rescued my brother. Oh, cool. Oh, so
mm,
we're now going to be working in the Mushroom Kingdom as plumbers. Let's jump into the tunnel and credit rolling now. What?
mm.
What?
But I guess that's the thing. To Raymond's point, though, Super Mario Brothers won the movie had no depth, and most of the depth that was provided to it was by the gamers themselves. They imagined a lot of things into the game, and there really wasn't anything in there except the stuff that we were putting in as gamers. I guess that's the big problem here. It's the fact that they crammed everything that could have been crammed into one movie. That was an overload of the stuff that you really kind of discovered later on in other games later on in later games. So it's like, I guess for us gamers, it we enjoy all the references, but it was a little like an overload when you were watching it, and we were a little worried for the people who were coming in. Like in my case, my daughter, a lot of that was just flew over her head. She had no idea what was happening. She liked the Rainbow Road, she liked how it looked, but she had no context as to why it was there or what importance it had, as to why it was needed in the game. They just, Cranky Kong just pulled it out of his ass. Okay, you need to go through the Rainbow Road to raid, Bowser's Kingdom. So like, what? Like, she had no context to it. It was pretty, but that was about it.
Yeah, even
So
my wife was confused about
yeah.
that part. She was like, "Which part of the game did I miss?" That I was like,
Mm,
I didn't even know there was a Rainbow Raid either."
mhm.
So
I mean, I'm absolutely
but
sure your daughter, Maddie,
we-
was thinking the same thing, Raymond, because of the fact that she absolutely loved. I'm absolutely sure how beautiful the execution of the movie was, especially the Rainbow Road portion. But I guarantee you, she has no context to it. And us as gamers, we like it for the fact that it is part of the game. But it's like it didn't make sense in how it kind of fit with everything the way the story went. I guess that's our beef with it.
well,
Joe has something to say.
go for it.
I'm supposed to speak last, but I'm going to interject regarding with Rainbow Road.
On your table, then
I have no inklings about the lore about the Mario Kart games. I'm like, why do we need the rain? Why do we have to go to the Rainbow Road and Bowser's floating island is flying?
Mhm.
I can answer the
Like,
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Go for it.
Sorry,
Because,
well.
because Nintendo needs to sell Mario Kart.
and I'm like, is the
We need to
Rainbow
sell Mario
Road
Kart.
like
We
somewhat
need
of
to
a
make
gateway
our
towards the
margin.
floating island? But then again, the Rainbow Bridge, the Rainbow Road got destroyed, and the Donkey Kong army got captured, and I'm like, oh, okay. So then what's the whole point of all this?
Mm-mm.
Of the rainbow, just so that you can market the Mario Kart game.
Here, let me just put forward something. Let me
You
just
want to
put
sell
forward something.
Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, and
Yeah,
Mario
there
Brothers.
you,
You want to make some money.
Yeah.
no, no,
What is
no.
this
Here,
about? It's an advert.
here's one thing. As a gamer, one thing that kind of contrasted the latter parts of the movie to the early parts. As a gamer, I absolutely loved one part. It's the fact that it referenced the fact that Mario used to work as part of the Wrecking Crew.
Wrecking Crew,
I
yeah.
know Mario used to show up in a game called Wrecking Crew, and there was a huge question as to how he transitioned from being a part of the Wrecking Crew into a plumber. So the movie actually explained that part early on, and that was what I expected in terms of how the whole movie is supposed to make sense to me as a gamer. It should have made sense as a gamer as well as to people who are coming into the movie blank. So I was really expecting a lot when I saw that Wrecking Crew reference. Like, hey, they're talking about Wrecking Crew. Are they gonna address the fact that Mario was a doctor later on or something like that? You know, yeah. So I wanted more of that, of how it was supposed to make sense,
Also,
and the
also,
latter
I
part
would
of the movie did not.
uh,
So there,
I
that's
would
it.
like to also address
Mm,
Ricky's question. People
mm.
watch these movies for the story. Let me ask you this question: does people go to McDonald's for the food?
Yeah. Oh
I
man,
love
wait,
their
what's leaving it PG-13?
I
I
saw
love their chicken nuggets. There you go. Anyway, Raymond,
I was
uh,
not in
I,
the
I,
film,
I,
guys. I was not in the film.
I
Anyway,
want to
going
hear
forward.
what Raymond's response is to that one. Go ahead, Raymond.
Regarding to what, Tito Joel?
I mean, the fact that we're saying that the fact that as gamers we like the movie, it
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense. You know, it just doesn't make sense from a gamer's point of view.
Wait,
So,
Ricky said here, oh,
oh yeah.
people watch this movie for the story.
That's why I answered the question with the question: does people go to McDonald's for the food?
No, they go
Mm,
for the toys. I want the free
for
toy
the
with the Happy
toys,
Meal.
I
That's why I
guess
go to
that's
McDonald's.
true. There you go.
Yeah, and it pretty much applies to this movie as well. Some people go for the Happy Meal, and some people go
I
for
actually want to. I'm not right now. Matt, as somebody in the chats mentioned earlier, Matt is wondering how did he get into this kind of situation. But I want to hear his thoughts. Really,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so I love a lot of B horror movies,
Mm.
movies from the 80s that are very formulaic, and I don't see
Yes.
this film as really any different
Mhm.
than what was kind of already happening in like 80, 81 with films where it was just this is a kind of a product everyone's following what Friday the 13th did
Mm.
kind of thing. That's kind of what this movie is, where it's just some talking
Mm.
reference, and it's just that's what it is. It's like, did you get everything? Did it check all the boxes? Like,
Mm.
that's it. Like, it was basically just a Mario quiz.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
did
bingo
that,
you
card.
get it? Like, that's it. And
that,
I see what you're
Friday
saying.
the 13th is I think that's an excellent comparison because I'm quite a big horror movie fan myself.
Mm.
Stuff for me that is good horror is stuff like Nightmare on Elm Street, where yes, there's that element to it, but there's an old. Oh, there we go. What a boy! What a
There
boy!
you go.
But
What's that?
you've got an whole. You've got that kind of horror formula, but then you've got a
Ooh.
layer of the dream world layer. There's many times in a Freddy film when you will think, am I in the dream world? Aren't I in the dream world? It's more engaging. It's more, it's more stimulating. And the Friday the 13th films are literally just kill, kill, way more formulaic. And that to me is a great comparison, mate, to it. For an animated film, something like Toy Story for me would be something like A Nightmare on Elm Street, which is a lot more engaging.
Mm.
And the Super Mario film is more like a Friday the 13th film, where that formulaic checklist method, but by
Mm.
committee method, which Sachin said, is more apparent. So I think that's a
So,
great shout, Matt.
For
Okay, so
horror movies, kind of like Phantasm more though. But anyway, continue.
I love Phantasm.
There you go.
My favorite part of it was, like I said, I'm a big Donkey Kong fan. I like Mario. I'm not like when this movie came out, I didn't really necessarily care,
Mm.
but I eventually got around to seeing it because I was like, there's no substance to this. That's my initial thought.
Mm.
I did like it. I thought it like I said, it's very formulaic, but the references and stuff like that are fun, and whatever. I laughed a good bit, but like I said, the big thing that I enjoyed the most was like seeing Donkey Kong on the big on the screen, and I don't feel like I've ever seen him. I don't believe he's been in any like video game movies, right?
Pixels. Pixels.
Oh, it
Pixels
was so
2015. Yes.
And Wreck-It
I couldn't.
Ralph. It might
So,
be
but it
Wreck-It
was
Ralph.
cool that you got to see Diddy Kong too.
Mm.
Dixie, Tiny was in there, Swanky was
Cranky
in there,
Kong. Mhm.
like Cranky, exactly. Like
Mhm.
that was just the highlight of the whole movie for me.
Okay.
That section to me, like I said in my video, that section was probably the best section for me because that actually had some genuine dynamics. Without the fight threat, it's really well written,
Yeah.
and between the fighting moments, you got to see these characters. So that felt more interesting because you got the Nintendo references, you got the Nintendo commercial, but you got the commercial parts between the action and the actual content. So it was more
Yeah.
more enjoyable.
And I felt like it was a part of the movie that didn't feel rushed because I feel like a lot of it feels rushed. Like we got to get to the next point, we have to get to the next reference, and I really felt like that in the end too, where
Yeah.
the end of the movie was super lackluster for me. Like there
Thank
was
you.
stuff that
Yeah.
was happening that I thought was cool,
Mm.
but it was like, what is? I don't really. I didn't leave the movie thinking like, oh, it resolved itself. Okay, like
Mhm.
Yeah.
it was just kind of like I said, it's like I was playing a game and I basically
Wait.
chopped out all the gameplay and put like the cutscenes together, and that's almost like how it kind of felt.
So, like you said, Matt, it felt like a cutscene that you were waiting for it to finish so that you could get to the game. You could get to the game proper.
I
All
went
right.
to go grab my controller. I was like, when
Mm.
do I start?
Well, now I'm curious about JDM's spoilery opinion on
Yes.
this whole matter. Yeah, JDM, you've been. I know you've been reflecting on everybody's input. What's yours?
For
Ayusin mo
me,
ang sagot mo, JDM.
for me, I didn't expect the movie to have this depth on its plot. I love you have the like what Kuya Raymond said. It's a feel good movie,
Mhm.
but there are times that I think they're missing something,
Bakit ka
especially
nag-ban?
when the part where Luigi was like he was helpless. I watch it with my partner, and every time you see Mario, especially in the first few scenes,
Mhm.
he's the pessimistic one, right? Um,
Mhm.
he always like, hey, are you really doing this? He's like the realistic one in
Mhm.
the brothers, and he always carries the toolbox that they use,
Mhm.
and technically is always in distress. It seems like he always needs help, Mario's help, that he
Mhm.
can't do anything by himself.
Mhm.
And yeah, and then magically he became like a superhero right at the end of the movie, right? Like watching Hulk Hogan getting pummeled in the middle of the
We get into WWE territory now.
match.
Okay.
He
Mhm.
became
Let's go. Let's go.
he became
Kaka-wrestling mo yan eh.
uh, he became like the Hulkster who starts like
Powering up.
when the people, yeah, powering up, the people are chanting and he becomes invincible,
Mhm.
and maybe because of the power up that they had.
Mhm.
And but maybe I think the writers uh made it intentional that he's like that, because as we know, Luigi is always the second player. He's not
Main
like
character.
Mario. Yeah, he's not the main character.
Mhm.
uh, but in if ever they make a sequel of this game, I really would like to see Luigi in a different light. Like
Mhm.
he has I wish like he has this like arc like an arc, Luigi arc, that he becomes much more uh
Competent.
yeah, motivated, or like
Mm.
Mario did, right?
Mhm.
So what if they're going to do the Luigi Mansion movie?
That I would love to see because honestly,
Yeah.
I haven't played any Luigi Mansion games, but
Mhm.
to see Luigi in his own game is
Yes.
uh, it's a good experience to see.
Mhm. Actually, JDM made a Freudian slip there. He said, he was waiting for the sequel to this game. So
Yeah,
it was like he was just really,
Oh.
yeah, he made a see he was
I
it
heard
was a
that.
Freudian slip on his side on that one. So I think that was his thinking on the movie itself. It felt like it was almost like a game as well.
Yeah.
Can I say
Mm,
this, Christina Joel?
oh,
The
go
fact
ahead,
of the
Jim.
matter that everybody is now starting to think that this feels more like a cutscene from a game.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be a little bit more of a pressure for Nintendo now to make sure that their quality in regards to cutscenes are gonna have to match this movie?
And that is very true,
Point.
actually.
Good
My
point.
personal opinion is, uh, well, I think I think it was Dan who actually said this. Now that this movie has made bank, we can actually expect 10 whole years worth of Super Mario content, possibly even spin-offs
So,
like Donkey Kong
It will
or
definitely gonna be
Luigi's
a
Mansion.
standard, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Although
it's the new Marvel
it
universe,
is going to be
basically.
it is going to be a
Yes.
detriment to other Nintendo properties, though, because if Nintendo is going to focus a lot of their resources on developing the Mario universe, other properties like Zelda or Metroid might fall by the wayside. So
not
we'll see.
really.
Rick, you pointed out something that I also wanted to point out as well, but it's a little bit kind of controversial. But like, I think that's the feminist movement. If si Peach ang i-rescue, baka maraming feminist offend.
Uh,
Basically, it's
That
saying it's like,
mm,
if it's maybe because is it maybe because of the feminist movement that they decided to not have Princess Peach be rescued by Mario?
I
And
don't think that's the
I
case.
agree with this one. Honestly, like, I'm not against the woke people out there, but
mhm,
the problem is that like they did set it up where you know we all know how like Mario always rescue Princess Peach.
yes.
Okay, it's not that like we wanted to shower Princess Peach into this damsel in distress trope, but
Mm,
the problem, however, is that they actually push it too hard to the
mm,
point that like Princess Peach basically became the mentor figure for Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom, which is okay. I get that, but the problem is that they're trying way too hard to
mm,
push the women power on Princess Peach on this one. That
mhm,
even I was like much more of like, okay, if this is the case, then what's the whole inciting incident of Mario and Luigi falling into the Mushroom Kingdom? Is it really just because Luigi basically separated with Mario? So if you think about it, so there isn't really much to
that's
actually
very
worry
true.
about.
That's very true, Shin. Actually, if Mario and Luigi had never fallen into the kingdom, would Peach have just rescued the whole thing herself anyway?
Yeah,
Because,
and not only that, here's the
Yeah.
thing that also bothers me a lot is that like with
mhm,
the story writing 101, a lot of writers and animators would probably get this point, is that
mhm,
like there's this thing we call inciting incident when you write a story, and that is basically like an event where it would change the course or the journey of the hero.
mhm.
The thing is that like in order for them to get this inciting incident of traveling into one world to another, there is this unexplainable plumbing problem in Brooklyn which nobody even know what was the cause.
Ah, there it is. That's true. That's true.
Nobody, no one got back to that. What the hell happened
Mm.
to that one?
But that's not the plot.
That,
That's
But
not
those are the
but
two. Yeah.
but
Go
just
ahead,
like I
Raymond.
told you guys, masyado kayong malalim for the storyline.
Raymond is saying that we're going in too deep on this. Okay.
Can I can I
Forget
pull some,
about that.
can I pull something back then? So
Oh, go ahead,
okay,
Dan. Go ahead, Dan.
let's pull back from the storyline because I agree. We shouldn't be too harsh on a kid's film
You're
for
Mm,
the storyline.
overthinking
But
about the storyline,
yeah, so
guys.
let's pull it back because like I said in my review, it wasn't really the storyline and lack of depth that bothered me. It was the lack of excitement. I can't.
mm.
Yeah.
Give me a scene apart from that Donkey Kong fight scene and the introduction with Bowser that was exciting because I didn't find any. I
So
didn't. Where was the argument that bit where Mario does that three jumps over something and blows something up and then he does a somersault.
Yeah.
There was that scene when they're doing the Mario Kart. I thought that was interesting.
It
You know?
was
Yeah.
all right, but
Yeah.
was
what
it
you're
a
saying,
ball?
Dan, is
Was
that
it
the
a
stakes
standout?
were
saying, Dan.
Then
That's
what
There
you're saying
was
then is that there wasn't a moment where everything was at stake. I mean, there wasn't a
oh
moment where
oh
the
there's
ten, mm, the
is the
tension
other
was
one
that
that
like everything was gonna fall apart if Mario didn't execute this. I mean, some would argue it was the bullet bill going into the palace moment, but it still felt like it
it
wasn't
was
like not all the
it
cards
still
weren't on the table.
exploded
And
in the Rainbow Road. I
Hmm.
yeah,
mean, it just basically
because of
sucked
how
everybody in.
the film was structured,
Hmm.
it didn't. There was no real sense of Mario ever really being in danger, was there? It was
Yes,
Ah.
thank you. That's the one. That's the other one that I'm about to actually point it out. Like there was one part of the movie that was a missed opportunity where we could have actually got a much more better hype. And you know where that is?
Oh, which one?
Inside the belly of
yeah,
that monster, where
yeah,
Donkey Kong and Mario was relating to each other how both their fathers doesn't like them, right? And
Mm.
then when Donkey Kong actually went haywire, they could have gone at it at each other up until basically they find their car with the rocket and whatnot. But what
Mhm.
happened instead is that they basically got cut off from the tension because of the belch of the monster. And to me, that's like no, they could have actually went at it with each other and then they bonded after that. Because
Mm.
honestly, like when they got out to rescue everybody after landing away from that rocket, there is this level of camaraderie between Donkey Kong and Mario that I was like, they should have at least punched it out more inside the
Mm.
belly. Because
Mhm.
they were like literally building up. Here's the thing: there's a lot of build up in this movie, but not a lot of resolution. And
Mhm.
if they're building up that Mario and Donkey Kong hates each other, they even throw a little bit of some jab at each other during the Rainbow Road scene, which was kind of funny. Okay,
Mhm.
they could have continued on with that and finally released all the tension inside the whale's belly, but they missed that opportunity.
So what you're saying, Shin, is that we got blue balled by the movie in terms of plot. Okay.
Well, more ways than one. I mean,
Yeah.
let's face it. Like the moment that like Princess Peach finally got the ice flower and whatnot, I was
Mhm.
like thinking, okay, this is gonna get fucked up. This is gonna messed up, and then Mario is gonna jump in and probably help out, and we can get the whole rescue thing going on. But instead,
JDM
no, nothing, not at all.
JDM has a little bit of input. I'm curious. JDM, what do you have
I
to say?
I think what happened with Mario and Donkey
Donkey Kong.
Kong inside the belly of the like the large eel.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what happened in was that in Batman versus
Pinocchio.
Superman when they learned when was it Batman or Superman learned that her mother was Martha.
Oh, Martha. Okay, fine.
That's the time like they bonded. Oh, we have the same.
It's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
I thought
Related
it's
to that.
Superman versus Batman.
okay, Superman versus
right.
Batman. There you
Why
go.
you say that name?
Our mother was.
Why do you know that name?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
It's still
that
far
happened.
from like a good resolution similar to Batman and Superman. There's like this coincidental thing. What
Mm.
Mario and Donkey Kong had is like my father hate me. Well, you know what? My father hate me too. Well, because you know what? Your father it probably is right. Oh, you know what? Your father's right too. Rar rar, belch.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, they wanted to move the plot along, didn't they? They wanted
Oh
to sort of
yeah.
get down with it. And to be honest, there's a lot of scenes here. You got obviously the Mushroom Kingdom, you got Brooklyn, you got Donkey Kong Land, you got the Mario Kart segment, you got the castle where Luigi's held in this little thing, and there's Luma making all those death jokes. You
Mhm.
got you got also got Bowser and what was going on with him. And there's lots of sequences there, so there was a lot going on. To be fair, and there's a lot to see in
Right.
this film. There's a visual spectacle. They did a
Mhm.
good job. I do agree with what Matt has said. It is disjointed. I think that's the word that we have to see. You've got a scene here, we've got a scene here, and when we go from one scene to another, there isn't enough story to push it along. It's not linking to the scene very well. So
Mhm.
the storytelling does need work in terms of how disjointed it was, which is fair enough. I do
Mhm.
think that the film it's still a very good film for what it is because they did tick all the boxes what they wanted to
Yeah.
do. But
Actually.
in doing so, they made it a
Mm.
disjointed story because they were trying to do too much in it. They played it safe and they made a lot of money doing that. They made a lot
Mhm.
of money doing that, and there will be a Mario Brothers too. Going on to the discussion about Nintendo and the future of their films, I
Mm.
think they will continue making loads and loads of money.
I
I think there will be a
can,
Smash
can,
Brothers universe, like the Marvel did with the Avengers. There will be a Smash Brothers universe. It's going to happen. This 1 billion thing is unprecedented in video game movie history. and Mario has set that benchmark. What I will say in response to Raymond, I will say Sonic the Hedgehog is what created this, because when the first Sonic movie came out, people went to see that film and it made over 400 million. Yeah, and that's a big number. That is by no means an unsuccessful film. Okay, 400 million for an animated film with James Marsden and no top billed A-list actors in there. Okay, is a lot of money they made from that film, and that's why they went on to make Sonic 2, which made even more money. So will we see the worlds of Sonic and Mario collide in a movie? We don't know. With Paramount and Universal, with the distributors of these films, will they get together and put them together? I think it's a good thing in the sense that I see Joe nodding, but I think it's a good thing because it shows that there's a benchmark of quality that has been had with Mario. Even though it's disjointed, a lot of people went to see it. It was a feel-good movie, like what Raymond said. Yes, it's not perfect. Yes, it has its problems, but generally it's a good film. It's not a film you're going to see again. Would I see a sequel? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. But
Well, let me just
that being said, I think in terms of the plot being flat and the character development being a bit weak, now that we've established these are the characters, they can build on that with a sequel. Will the sequel be better than the original? I think that's a foregone conclusion, to be honest. But hey, listen, but, in my opinion, with all that was going on, all of what you said, because I'm not going to repeat what I've said in my words, because you've said pretty much everything that needs to be said, you guys. I'm just patching up my thoughts in. Yes, there are problems with this film. It's still a very good film.
Can I add?
Yeah, let me just say one thing. Raymond's feelings about the film.
You ain't got opinion. I know what
No. Raymond's feelings about the film is absolutely valid. It's a feel-good film, and it is something that people went into and came away from having had a good time, and that's a perfectly valid way to enjoy a film.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster ride, basically.
I wanted to ask this question to everybody on the panel, and clearly this is one of the two elephants in the room. Honestly,
Go ahead.
What do you guys think about that star?
I love him.
Joe, raise your hand.
Okay, seriously. Let me say one thing, right? And I just want to say I love you, hon. I love my wife so much, but I swear,
Okay,
when I was listening to this star, I was waiting for it to start breaking into Evanescence. It's like just like the tone, the way it's like there's only that and only the eminent. How could it be that? Like I was just like waiting for it to start singing Evanescence. I'm sorry.
All right, Joe. Let's hear what Joe has to say about it, because it seems that Joe thinks that the star stole the show. Go ahead, Joe.
Joe loves the girl power Peach. He got turned on by girl power Peach. He liked the feminist. Know that much.
Joe, go ahead.
Life is sad, everything is sad,
Oh my God.
everything in the world is sad.
That started in drugs, dude.
Luma Lee. All right, let's talk about Luma Lee.
The
Okay.
Luma Lee is
Luma Lee.
amazing.
All right. Okay. So this
The hallucinating star.
the nature of the movie, supposedly a very child friendly on the very surface. The movie it is, yeah. And Luma Lee is one of those out of characters that, despite that the movie is a child friendly movie, you got someone like Luma Lee, very out of very out of character. That's not supposed to be in this movie, but because Luma Lee is there, it's just so hilarious.
I mean, I also want to ask. Most of you guys go to image boards and whatnot, right? Like Reddit, 4chan. Like most of you guys are aware of that, right?
Yes.
I honestly believe, like when that scene of Lumali showed up, it's like walking into 4chan, and you have like this one really depressed person, and everybody's saying, "Don't mind him. Don't talk to that person. Do not entertain whatever he says." Because it's like literally, like I swear, it's like that person is pretty much an image board right there. You have different slashes in there, and Luma Lee, I swear to God, is like even though it was so out of character, as Quiz Joe RPG says, it was a little bit of a fresh air because of all
Yeah.
the tension that we're having. It's
Yeah.
basically helpful that that character was there because honestly, if it wasn't for Luma Lee, I would have forgotten about the penguins.
Another point about Luma Lee. Luma Lee is even more of a character than Luigi was.
Yeah. There you go. Yes,
Ooh,
I agree.
ooh.
That,
Mhm.
yeah, and
Mm.
that's quite telling, isn't it? That because Loom Lee, great character actually. To be fair, I should have said in my review that I enjoyed the humor with that. But the fact that it basically took center stage more than Luigi just felt weird.
And to that point, so I saw the behind the scenes of the movie. So Lumali was voiced by one of the daughters of the
Of the
developers,
directors. Yeah,
of the
developers. Yeah.
directors, and it wasn't supposed to be. And the response to Lumali wasn't supposed to be like this. It was just a one-off thing that he decided just to give it to the daughter, just to voice it out.
Mm.
And the response to the character, wonderful, right? If anything, so to me, Luma Lee was like, even if a minor character, wi- even you make it your own. The scene that you got, make it your own. And for every scene that he was there, you can't stop looking, you can't stop smiling when while Luma Lee was there. It made if there's anything, it made the movie more memorable to me
Mhm.
because of Luma Lee, one of the main
Yes.
characters, one of the main
Though,
characters.
though in a little bit of a saving grace for Luigi, let's not try to actually put him down to like like the most flattest character, but
He was written that
did
way.
have his moments. He did has his moments. But you see, one thing that I thought that was a little bit weak into the movies is that like if we have only seen enough scenes where Luigi pretty much fan himself off and not just basically be a prisoner or get caught and whatnot, all tied up. If we see some more scenes of him basically surviving that world,
Mhm.
him blocking that manhole towards Browser's fireball would have made so much sense.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because when he was protecting Mario right at that moment, I was like, okay, all of a sudden we have like the hero mode happening on Luigi, which was good. But the problem is that like the weird part here is that like Luigi is not a flat character, but instead the moment of realizations and pretty much the character arc, these character arc that was supposed to be for Mario ends up with Luigi.
Mm.
And it died the moment he touched the star.
Mhm.
He had the best character arc ever because he was like he's realizing that Mario's always behind him, and that's like he's always trying to support. He's always being supported by Mario. He feels weak. He feels that he's always gonna get rescued. But that moment, right then, at that moment, he basically break off of that fear and protected Mario. Now,
Mm.
this would have been better if we have seen more of Luigi having that misadventure, just as similar to Mario. Mario has the guided adventure. He has the herald, which is the mentor type. Luigi could have gone and do the whole thing by himself, a la Naked Snake, and basically go for survival. And this would actually bring these two characters, Mario and Luigi, in a stage where both of them became stronger, not just because of the mushroom itself, but because of the experiences that they had. But instead, what we
Separately.
got, yeah, but instead, what we got is that like we got way too much scenes where it's basically like we don't even know how Luigi finally gained his courage. It just came out of nowhere. And then the
Mm.
moment he touched the star, all of those character arc basically went to bits.
Well,
Mm.
the
Yeah.
movie is called Super Mario Brothers, so they just focus on just one brother.
Fine, fine, fine. I guess. I mean,
Whatever.
He's not the main
Whatever.
character though, but
Did is anybody noticed that like the moment he got stuck into that haunted mansion, was that a little bit of a references to Luigi's Mansion?
oh
Yeah.
yes,
yeah,
it is.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Yes.
that's
so
the whole. Yeah,
yes.
that's
Yeah, because
really
I
pointing
felt
out.
that like they want to squeeze in a little bit of like what makes Luigi, and then I was like, if they're gonna insert somewhat of Luigi Mansion in here, this is pretty brilliant. And honestly, that was the only one of the few things that I find which is very genius in this movie is how
Mhm.
they managed to insert that in there.
And that it made sense in that context. I would say,
Yeah.
um, you're right in the fact that there could have been a little bit more emphasis on how Luigi's character grew. Actually, there could have been a little bit more emphasis on how everybody's character grew. But I
Yeah.
guess that's something to be found in later
Sequels,
episodes,
Movies.
they need to have a
later
sequel for
movies,
this
I
one.
guess.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I would love to have
Yeah.
a sequel for this one.
what I'd really like now actually is to
Mm.
know, because some of us have actually given our ratings as to what we think it is out
Mm.
of 10. Dan said it's 5 out of 10, so we know where
Yeah.
he stands.
Yeah.
I want to know like one. We all work at say what we think it is out of 10. Then we work out a mean average as to what our retro gaming score.
I'll work it out like we do on the Sega Mega Masters. So
yeah, this sort of thing. So you say it's a 5 out of 10, which I think is outrageous, but that's your view. Okay,
it's average. It's average though. I think I've been quite generous there, to be honest, because I think a 5 is average. So it's not that I don't like. It's not a bad thing. It's just not
Raymond's getting his raise.
Sorry,
Actually, what did Raymond give it? I don't think we heard what Raymond gave it.
Mario,
Of course, 9 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Okay, there you go.
10 Goombas out of 10.
Let me get these together.
10 1 ups.
All right, go ahead.
10
10 1 up out of 10.
Got one
5 a 10.
One that says 10.
5%.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10 personally.
Okay.
That's my score. Okay. What about you, Mr. Matt? What do you think?
I'm right there with a 6 out of 10, and it's just because of the Donkey Kong scene. Everything else I've completely kind of forgotten. So like 6 out of 10 for seeing Diddy and everybody. So
Didi having that cameo. I love that part. Shut up, Didi. I was like, yes.
yeah.
All right, how about
what
Joe?
about you, Joe? So Joe, what
Me,
do you say?
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, 7. Okay.
7.5.
JDM, what do you think?
For me, it's a 7 because of the Mario rap that they included at the first scene of the game. Right? And
The
commercial,
yeah,
This is
like
it. If this is
trivia.
going to take a certain point, you're going to give it that rate. It's how you feel. I can't argue with your feelings. And what about you, Mr. Sin? Mr. Sin, what do you think? What do you have to say?
I gave it a 7. A 7's also an orgasm of a nostalgia. I don't know if everybody noticed, but
we trashed it so much.
yeah, 7.5. 7.5 because the point 5 is because of the audio. Because I don't know if everybody caught when Donkey Kong was about to fall off the platform, they actually played the beginning part of Donkey Kong. That part, it was so subtle that like I actually have to like watch it again, and I'm like, oh god, it is. So there's a lot of subtle references on the video game music in there that even stage 2 of Super Mario Brothers 3 even made the cameo appearance. That's why I gave it a 7.5.
And a lot of popular culture music as well, like Dan said in his review. I mean, I think there was the "I Need a Hero" song. What is it? That was played in Shrek 2.
Yeah, it's like the references of all the 80s music out there. It's like there's I Need a Hero. There's like all these other like
Take on me.
yeah, Take on Me. Yes.
Yeah,
So,
so they
so
have
Joe-
all that.
Joe,
In there.
the last
I've heard
one
that all
then.
before in other movies. That's the thing.
All right,
It's
Joe,
really
what was
rare.
your what's Joe's numerical score?
What about you, Sir
before
Joe?
I
What
give
did
my
you think
rate.
it was? What did you say, Sir Joe?
Bef-
What was
before
your-
I give my rating, can I rant first?
Oh,
here we
okay.
go.
No.
Here we
You
go.
give
Oh,
me,
you
give me
can.
your number, give your
Rating
number
first,
so
okay.
so Dan can work out the number.
Give me the rating and then run, and I'll give you the number after.
Must download out of 10. Fine. A numeric rating. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm gonna kill myself.
Ayusin mo yung sagot mo, Sir Joe. Hindi na ako gagawa ng thumbnail.
Raymond is making threats now.
I'm not going to do some thumbnails anymore.
Did I?
Oh, this is gonna be an awkward grand assembly this month. That's
I
for
know.
sure.
It's not that hard, mate.
I'll give it a 6.
6. There you go.
Ooh.
I'll give it a 6.
Fair enough.
All right, go ahead and rant, Joe.
No, you can't
I'm-
grant. No, it's
Okay. So I've been listening to these guys for a while, and I've been agreeing to some of their points. Okay, so while I was watching the movie, so I'm taking notes, and I've been jotting it around to our group chat as I watch it on real time. So I'm gonna rant by characters, okay, and so you guys can just interject, especially you guys there at the chat. So with Mario, okay. So the main problem that I see with Mario, he never really had the motivation enough to face Bowser to begin with. I mean, if like they said, if it wasn't for them falling accidentally to that pipe, right? If Mario just went to the Darklands immediately, if somebody just told him, "Oh, just go there," he would have found Luigi, and they could have just went on the merry way, right? So they never had a chance for Mario and Bowser have that one encounter in the beginning of the first act or the second act at least, just so that they can show each other, have an interaction with each other, why they're doing what they're doing. Okay,
Tension. It lacks tension.
there's no tension. It's like for me, like you know what, like the Dark Knight movie, that interview in that interrogation scene with
Mm.
Batman and the Joker. They they were there for the first time face to face, and they're just talking, right? So it's kind of like that, like so Mario doesn't know who Bowser is or what kind of threat he's posing. He was just told that, oh, he's just a bad guy. Could you save us? And I'm like, dude, this ain't your problem. Your problem is saving your own brother, right?
Mm.
So why are you even doing this? That's my main gripe with Mario. Okay, next would be Luigi. Okay, so they're establishing. Oh, we've been together. As long as as long as we're together, we're good, right? Separated right out of the first act.
Yeah, Hollywood
Oh, we're
Basic
gonna be
101.
together.
Everybody's gonna
Oh,
say
oh,
something, then something
oh,
else happens.
like oh, we're gonna be together, and Luigi was like, I know, right? So separate right immediately, and she was right all throughout the movie. So Luigi was just there, and I'm like, if you take out Luigi out of this, eventually they could have resolved the movie, but in the end, pretty much the same thing. But Luigi had to, I'm not sure why the developers did, the directors or the writers did it this way. So they separated Luigi. Okay, so there must be a reason why. Okay, and you think that, okay, so Mario has his arc, Luigi has his own arc. They need to be separate, because they need to grow and develop their characters separately, so that eventually you'll have that payoff in the end. Bad execution, but eventually the end was there. Um, Fighting side by side against
It's
Bowser,
a good setup. Everything was a good
right?
setup, except for the
It,
follow through. It was
Oh,
basically lackluster.
Peach. Let's go with Peach.
Oh, here
Okay,
we go.
so all
Mhm.
right, Peach, right? I see you, girl. Okay, Peach. Um, so okay, so just because this is the
Where's
first human
Peach?
you've
Where's
ever
Peach?
met, so this you're placing your hopes and dreams of saving the Mushroom Kingdom because of this stranger, this another human being stranger that you found, right? And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That's how the game is, right? And so there's this training, this training montage, and you got the whole training ground, and you see Peach getting through all of those all willy nilly, and she even admit, oh, it was even on my first try, I went through all of it perfectly. She admitted that,
So
right?
what's the point in
Mhm.
Mario?
And so what's the point? So if you could do all that, why not just go to Bowser?
Oh
Yeah,
my
that,
Mm-mm-mm.
Do we
that's not
really have to go there? I mean, I mean, we could.
I see you, girl.
God.
Okay.
She doesn't need to do
So I'm
that.
gonna talk. So girl,
She's
I'm
a
gonna
good girl. She's a
Peach.
good bitch. She
I'm
ain't a
talking
bad
to Peach
bitch.
right
That's
now.
fine.
Okay. So,
Gusto ko lang masira yung concentration ni Joe sa
Raven,
so
pag-run.
Raven
if you
says
can
he's
do
trying to
all of if you can
derail
do
Joe's
all of the
concentration.
parkour stuff and those power up stuff, then why not just go to Bowser himself, or even yet, why not just train all of your mushroom soldiers, all of your mushroom citizens? Okay, you have the training grounds. Go train your mushrooms right there. You have your guards. You have your
They're
citizens. Go.
adorable.
Well, why not just?
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
only that. Can I,
sure, they're not physically imposing to do it, but you see some of the guards have battle axes there. So then surely they have some sort of training there, if they're allowed to have weaponry. So why
Mhm.
not just train your soldiers, then fight Bowser by yourself, right?
Mhm.
But
there's
no.
something that you need to that you also need to add as a missed opportunity. One of the mushroom actually said to Mario, "Who is he?" And then Peach pretty much says, He's not
About that.
important, right?"
About that.
It was a missed opportunity for them
Yeah.
to actually have Mario gain
Okay.
the love of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Mhm.
Why even
Because
so?
why okay, if you're wondering why do we need to have the mushroom people love Mario? Because if we didn't have that, imagine how flat the ending was. And pretty much that's basically what happened. The ending of them living in the Mushroom Kingdom, jumping into the hole and whatnot, is so flat because let's face it, none of the toads or whatever they are don't even care about Mario and Luigi, even though they had this rescue adventure, whatever. It happened in freaking Brooklyn.
Mm,
Basically what happens here is that like after the fight in Brooklyn, they all showed up. They put Koopa in Bowser in a bottle. All the toads are just like they still probably think that it's Princess Peach who rescued everything.
mm.
To your
So let's,
point.
let's just sorry. Let me just
Okay.
put that score then. So the
Okay.
final
Okay. Okay. So
the
so to
final
that
score
point.
the final
Oh.
score, mate, was 68% or 6.8 out of 10.
6.8 out of 10. As the auditor, I concur. Okay.
Yeah, I
Okay.
concur.
So uh, to
Like,
uh,
you-
to Shin's point. So who is that guy? He said, "Oh, Peach said
He's
no one, no one."
nobody. He's not
I'm like,
important.
why even go through the training session on this
Mm.
guy, and then you're going to announce to everybody he's nobody, right?
Yeah.
No. That's one of my main problems with this one.
Yeah.
The character of Peach.
Ano, ang
No, like,
daming problema ni Sergio.
okay,
So many
like,
problems from
okay,
an
so,
rant.
fine. So because they're not going to trust you yet, just let me do the talking, okay? We'll
Yeah,
we'll
this
go to we'll go to the Donkey Kong country, and then we'll hopefully we'll get the permission of the we'll get the permission to let their so that they can loan us their soldiers, right? Okay,
Mm.
so that's my main grip. Aside from everything else with Peach, I'll leave it alone with Peach. Toad. Okay, let's talk about Toad. Toad's just there, comic relief.
Mm.
Not even for a comic relief, really. I mean, w- Toad was just there to take Mario to Peach. That's it.
he's just a cute guy.
Any other character could have done that.
Mhm.
Okay, that's all I can say.
He's
Uh,
a
he
Jar
wa-
Jar Binks. That's basically what
okay.
you're saying.
Did he do it? Did he even contributed anything to the movie? Anything else? By the time, okay, so by the time they were getting. Oh, Toad said, I'm going to protect you, princess." That should have been Mario's. That should have been Mario's line. But okay, give it to Toad, sure. And Toad is not even like a second hand commander or a second hand general or a right. I mean, second hand right hand general or right hand person to Peach. Toad is just a normal one of the mushroom, right? Mushroom
Mm. He's just
citizens,
some
yeah.
random guy.
He's
Mhm.
just one random
yeah.
guy showing a lot of Napoleonic complexes, yeah.
Mhm.
And so, but by the end, I'm going to protect you, but he did nothing. He still got captured. I mean, you didn't even. Uh, there was no. I mean, there's not much of a character going on with Toad. He's just there just to accompany them to uh, the Donkey Kong country, get captured, and then get liberated once they've beaten Bowser, right?
Mhm.
Um,
Toad is
let's go
special.
with. Oh, can we go back to Luigi?
Yeah, go
Okay.
ahead. Mm.
Okay. So, like Shin said, and I said this to the group chat as well.
So
So
many
Mario
things.
had to go through all of that training montage, right? Just to get better at it with the power ups.
Mm.
And this is also a criticism to the Mushroom Kingdom citizens as well. If you got the power ups as well, if it's so available, why not just use the power ups among yourselves and go fight Bowser, right?
Heck,
But no,
Donkey Kong was able to use the power up.
I mean, is there such a? I mean, they didn't
You see,
establish the rules like that. The power ups are just exclusive to some
you
of
see
the
this.
characters.
You see,
Seriously,
this is the
really?
reason why I'm saying that this movie was actually done by a committee,
Mm.
not just by a group of writers. Because if you think about it, the reason why we even have this issue with Princess Peach being a little bit like, how it is, progressive as we would say, is because we
Yes.
have people who are basically saying, okay, what about Princess Peach? And you have everybody basically move their chairs backwards and said, okay, let them handle how they're going to handle it. Now, here's the thing. There is one character in Hollywood that they could have actually used as a standard for Princess Peach, but they failed so badly. And you know who that is?
Who?
Princess Leia from Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
Who wants to see that
Princess
again?
Leia is a very
Carrie
strong
Fisher?
princess. Yeah, no, well, not Carrie Fisher in general, but Princess Leia in the Star Wars trilogy.
Mhm.
She is a very
Ah,
strong
that, okay.
princess. She's headstrong and she's pretty much like she loves her people, blah blah blah, all that crap,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
But even though she was rescued, you never really see the image of a damsel in distress at all. And
Mhm.
here's the other thing. You have like in Star Wars, you have Luke basically gained the medal from Princess Leia, basically what he did for, for everybody in the rebels. You don't really have that kind of moment with Mario where he basically fought Bowser under the representation of the Toads. He's
Mhm.
basically there because he just happens to run across them and look, my brother and I got trapped in here and oh, here's my brother, but we need to get out of here. Oh, wait, there's this really jealous simp named Bowser who, basically doesn't like me. Wait, you hate me because you think that I'm after Princess Peach? What? So
Mhm.
basically you have like all this situation here where you could there's so many missed opportunities in
Mm.
which you could have actually made Mario much better as a character.
Mhm.
Was
Okay.
was was there any
Well,
was there any point
Yes,
where
he kissed her
Peach
brother, of course.
was there any point where Peach felt like so you've just made a brilliant example there with Princess Leia where even though she's part of a force strong family and a very headstrong very competent brilliant leader she's
Mhm.
vulnerable she
Mhm.
shows vulnerability
Oh,
Yeah.
where
you
I can't remember
oh,
Peach doing that
perfect. Yeah,
where,
you actually added something in there, Sir Dan, that is actually lacking in all of the characters in this movie. Flaw.
Mm.
Nobody has a flaw. Nobody has a hubris moment. Nobody has like a moment where they're basically overpowered by their own mistakes or
like
overestimation or
right?
whatever. Yeah, it's like they lack flaw. That's the reason why they feel flat. It's like they're just like a straight A to B character. When Sir Dan mentioned that whole thing that like, she still has this vulnerability, that's basically what's lacking in Princess Peach. There is no level of vulnerability, not even was she pressured when she was in the Council of Toads. You have
Mhm.
Mario over here who was overly determined, but we've never seen him have a flaw where he really do start to doubt himself. That's what he would have needed. There would have been moments with Luigi where when he was so afraid, he tried to be brave, but realized that he has false hopes that's happening in front of his eyes. And then there's Toad, who's being completely dedicated and loyal because of the call for adventure, where he could actually always fumble, messes up, and then have a moment where he realized he's not cut out to be an adventurer and just be a normal Toad. So many opportunities all missed out.
Mhm.
With Luigi,
Awesome.
god damn it. Okay, so Mario had to go all of that training montage, right? And Luigi just touched the superstar, and he could do pretty much everything that Mario does: jumping, running. Uh,
What?
he already knows what to do right then and there. I
Mhm.
mean,
Okay.
Luigi doesn't even know what a superstar does. Mario
Mhm.
knows because he's been told what it does, but Luigi doesn't know that. Oh,
That
Mario,
just goes to show that the Mario's training montage was completely unnecessary.
oh no, you know what? I'm going to accept
Mhm.
Luigi has a passive skill that everything that Mario learns, he knows.
No,
It's
One
a
that's
like
passive
yes.
skill.
Come on.
Now
It's
this
a
is the
passive
gamer
skill.
in us. We're inserting
It's a
our
passive skill,
stuff
guys.
into the movie already.
Everything that Mario does automatically, he knows too.
It's a true story because look, I'm an older brother to a younger brother. Yeah,
Mm.
I tell you,
Go
I've been through so much in my life. Yeah, and my brother just picks up all my skills for free. He just picks up things that I learned from, whether it's telepathically or something. But he knows how to do things I could never do. So maybe that's
I
the way of interpreting that. I don't know how that even
Okay.
works.
no,
Oh,
but then
so what
again,
you're saying is that like when they reach the star, all of the XPs that Mario gained were automatically passed it and handed over to Luigi.
but then
God
again,
damn it! Oh, God
that's
damn it!
just specific. But that's specific rim logic. We're talking about
No, no, no.
what do you call
No,
that? Those two
that's okay,
brains
sir.
fusing
That's
into
okay, Sir
one or
Dolo.
something.
That's okay because
Mm.
you know what, guys, Super
Kaya
Mario.
mahirap pag
Uh,
nag-o-overthink ng
Oh
storyline
yeah,
ka.
Raymond is saying that's the bad thing about
That's why
overthinking a story.
overthinking the storyline of every movie is quite hard. So
Okay,
it's because of the fact that you're
uh,
overthinking, blah blah blah.
Raymond has a point. We
Place your
are overthinking this
yes, place
sometimes.
it to
maybe
that.
all right.
Feel
So,
good movie.
Yeah.
oh,
Feel
speaking
good
of
movie.
experience points, let's do a quick commercial. Guys, in November, Super Mario RPG will be coming out for the Nintendo
Oh.
Switch.
And you're going to
So,
buy
so
it.
right, as somebody who has criticised the movie, I do completely agree. I think we should not get on a storyline focus. We shouldn't get too caught up on it because it is a kids' film. So I agree with that. But what my counterpoint to that would be the dynamics, and that is what Shin's talking about. Of regardless of the depth of the film, you still need a to and fro, a flirtatious dynamic. And that's what it doesn't give us with the characters. When Shin's talking about resolution and overcoming things and flaws, those dynamics. Like look at Toy Story. You know what I mean? When Buzz
Oh, yeah.
that
That was a good one. Good example. Good example.
They all have their own journey where they doubt themselves, then they overcome it. That's just basic hero storytelling. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. This didn't have a hero story, which is crazy.
Yeah.
When it's a hero's film. You know what I mean? So I think that's more of a different. You know, the story depth is something I agree with. We shouldn't really worry about it too much.
Oh,
I think
so my wife actually just told me the reason why Luigi has more knowledge, and it's because during the time that they were imprisoned, he was imprisoned with Cranky Kong. So apparently, Cranky Kong handed that enough knowledge on Luigi, which is the reason why he's that well learned after getting out of the cage.
All right. Can I do one more rant? One more
All
rant.
right.
No, you
Bowser.
can't. No, you can't. You're acting too long.
No.
Okay. Let me just get one last one. One more Bowser. Bowser. I'll just do
Okay.
Bowser.
Bowser. Okay, fine.
Okay. With Bowser, they didn't really establish why he has the hots for Peach in the first place.
Because of her butt.
I know that. No.
Can't argue with that. Great.
No, can't argue with that. Okay.
That's it.
Bowser is a man of culture.
You're gonna be
okay?
talking
I mean,
about Peach's racing outfit.
okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Guys. So, ladies and gentlemen of the chat, Bowser is a man of culture. Okay. With
Okay,
all
I
of the
agree.
monkeys,
Just like
I
this.
with
do
all of the
agree.
monkeys,
You're a
with all
man
the
of
monkeys,
culture.
with all of the turtles, with all of the Goombas, with all of the mushrooms. Who else can you bang?
Honestly.
No. Come on. Let's face it. All right.
Hey,
Okay.
hey.
Okay,
It's
you
an
guys-
art. It's
It's Popeye and olive oil.
movie
Because,
Alright.
you know,
podcast,
Popeye and Brutus
so
are
no
fighting over
ban
olive
or
oil. She's the
whatsoever.
worst. There you go. Anyway, Raymond,
Oh,
go ahead.
very good. What I will say is, look, in terms of what do you think at the end of all this, did Peach get feelings for Mario at the end of the film? Do you think he got feelings for the Mario or the Mario had the feelings for the Peach? Were there any moments? Was there any romance in there between the
Yeah.
man and Peach? No, obviously the only romantic thing I saw was the solo with Bowser singing the Peaches song. That was amazing, Papa Jack. I really liked that. I thought it was funny.
I like that.
No,
Okay.
there's no
Okay,
there's no
can-
chemistry between Mario and
The musical part with Jack Black. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just had to do it because it's
Oh,
Jack
the
Black.
Peach part. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
It's a- Oh,
That's a
okay.
good song.
You know, speaking of Peaches, I gotta admit though, most of the people who were making this movie, I swear to God, they really are aiming for a certain angle with Princess Peach. Because even I was like,
Yeah.
I don't want to look at that angle, but I just have to. Okay,
Mhm.
first scene.
She
First scene with
bent
the
over
you know, when she was
bent over
no, when she was
forward,
riding the motorcycle through the Rainbow
motorcycle.
Road, and then coming out from the left side, you seeing that part of the angle. Hello, look at the ass shot. Then when King Bowser appeared,
Your point.
Yeah.
Nintendo said, "Oh, we want to have a family-friendly movie," and Universal,
Mm.
mentioned like, oh, "Fuck that. We want
that's
this."
her, that's her cake. That's her cake. Because her cake have to actually show up like
You
that. I mean,
wanted
even when Bowser was appearing while she's holding a spear. Come on, let's come on, guys. Everybody must have
Oh,
already
okay.
pressed pause when
Seven
they
out of
watched
ten
it.
because of that butt shot.
That butt shot was okay. You gotta admit, it wasn't really showing up in
Seven out
the
of
first
10.
part of the movie, but later on, when she was like waiting for Bowser to show up, I was like, why is that racing outfit literally eating her butt right now?
Oh no. Oh, to your point.
I'm sorry, hon.
No,
I love
in
you.
the Mario Kart game. Oh, hold on. All of you guys who are playing the Mario Kart games, was there any game that she was on a bicycle, on a motorbike?
yeah,
She
she's
I
in
has her
haven't
Mario.
own
played Mario
park,
Kart.
right?
I haven't played
So
Mario Kart.
this was just a pervy writers, right? Idea,
No,
or that is
well,
or that
she's
is
in
just
in
something
the game
just
like
for me.
this. She's in Mario Kart. Look, she's there.
Oh,
That's
really?
their vehicle in Mario Kart. Is that
Don't
it?
need to
Yeah,
emphasize.
that's the one in Mario Kart, but I mean it's a little bit different from the one that
There you
yeah
go.
that one.
Oh,
That
Come on, you
one.
guys see that
That's
scene
the
from the
one.
Rainbow Road and they're
That's also
riding out. That
really.
angle was there. Come on, guys.
Those
I
books are
love the
gonna
shading.
climb.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah.
Matt,
you
Matt is
just
just putting
There
it.
you
Matt
go.
is just face palming all over right now. There, look at Matt. He's really face palming.
You've just convinced me to increase my rating to a 6.
There you go.
finally.
Nate.
if we had more
7 out
feet,
of 10.
Oh my god.
Slap her, slap her.
if
Pa!
there was more of this, you'd be happy.
My wife is just giving me the stare of death right now. Be right back.
Oh my
No, no,
gosh.
no.
Okay,
Oh,
there you go.
so Sir Jomar mentioned something here. I'm not really
Okay.
a hater. I'm not hating on Peach. Okay,
Mm.
If Peach is there right in front of me, okay, I'll keep the hate inside. We'll just have some angry shag.
Okay,
Is it
fine.
is
Okay.
Peach or Anya Taylor Joy we're talking about? Because like, let's talk about the voice actors. I think all the voice acting was actually pretty much on point, apart from Mario. But the others actually carried Mario throughout the film, so it didn't matter too much. But I thought all the voice actors was pretty much on point, other than Mario. That's the funny thing. That's
Yeah,
my view.
yeah.
But
I
Star Lord,
agree.
really? Okay.
Mm. Yeah,
Star,
but he's
so you got we haven't really mentioned about the characters. Let's give them let's pay them some respects, okay?
Mm.
So let's mention it. Let's mention them by name. So you got Mario, voiced by Chris Pratt, okay, and then Luigi was Charlie Day,
Mhm.
really. Kegel Michael K, voiced Toad. Jack Black, of course, Bowser, and who voiced Peach?
Nah.
Anya
They could have
Taylor Joy.
cast anyone.
Anya Taylor Joy.
Mhm.
Great
There you
actress.
go.
Yeah. I just confirmed I'm going to be sleeping on the couch tonight. But anyways,
Well, that's the thing, though.
Oh, man.
In
Why are
general,
you doing this? Why are you doing this to yourself?
Raymond is showcasing his 10 out of 10 rating. There you go. Right there.
That
Oh,
explains why he's been defending the movie.
Yeah.
Now it makes a lot of sense.
Anya Taylor Joy, voice Peach.
Yeah.
Anya
there you
Taylor
go.
Joy.
All right, let's just do a final go. Final comments on the movie. I think the movie deserves that. Okay. All right, Viraj, since you're show captain, go ahead.
I would say it's a good film.
Mhm.
Don't go in there with high expectations. It is a video game movie, and like all video games movie, you're not going to get some sort of masterpiece storytelling, but you do hope to have it. If you're a fan of Nintendo and Nintendo games, this is something you should see. Be mindful that that is a marketing ploy by Nintendo. Clearly, I mean, what game franchises did I count in here? You got Wrecking Crew that was mentioned in here. You got the Mario Brothers franchise is mentioned here. You got Mario Kart has been mentioned. You've got the Donkey Kong franchise. You've got Luigi's Mansion into that. You've even got Captain Toad. You see a bit of Captain Toad.
Captain Toad, yes, very true.
Yeah,
Captain Toad.
There's a number of franchises. There's probably some I haven't mentioned because there's Easter eggs that I've just left my brain that were actually mentioned in this game. But it is a nostalgia trip for those of us who grew up with the Nintendo game. More the Americans, I'd say, because the NES was a big deal in their country. But I'll say anyone who grew up with Nintendo or liked those games, yes, you're going to like the film. Is it a story that's consistent? No. Is it disjointed? Yes. But does that make it a bad film? No, it doesn't. It's a lot of fun. Enjoy the film. Enjoy the film. Don't think too much into it. Otherwise, you go crazy. Like people in this chat have gone crazy. Even we can really, if you really overanalyze it, yes, you're going to find all these flaws in it, but it doesn't make it a bad film. And I do look forward to a sequel film because as a Sega man, I can still appreciate the Mario stuff and the Nintendo stuff, and if it's good stuff, I'll watch it. And then again, I like video games, like all of you. Will I see the next video game movie, whether it's Sega, Nintendo, like the Mortal Kombat one I liked? Yeah, great. We'll see what comes out next. So I'll watch them anyway. Do I have high hopes for the next film? Well, I think it'll be better than this one, to be honest. But I could be wrong. But I'll enjoy it. Just a final note, and it's a video game movie that I have actually mentioned in our group chat. It's called Tetris. I recommend those of you who have not seen this film, you should watch it because artistically, it is the best video game film of 2023. Not Mario Brothers, but it's been overshadowed by Mario Brothers. It's on Apple. Okay, watch it how you can. But Tetris is probably one of the best video game movies I've seen in a very long time, which is not necessarily based on the game, and it's more of a biopic on who developed the game and how it all came to fruition. So give Tetris a go. Yeah, that's the film you should be watching, not Mario Brothers. But anyway, if you like fun, something that you can switch your brain off and enjoy, this is the film for you. You want something that's really interesting, that will keep you going, keep a story that's really smooth. Give Tetris a go. That's the one. Anyway, that's my final thoughts on the film. Over to you guys.
All right, let's hear our special guest for this episode, Matt. Final thoughts.
Yeah, it's something I'm probably never gonna see again. I'm surprised you guys had so much to say about it. I'm actually like almost overwhelmed. I'm just like, wow, because like the story, I didn't really give it that much time in my brain, but I mean, I'd recommend it. It's like a roller coaster ride. You get on, you go up and down, you get off, and that's what this was. And so, I mean, there's no reason not to see it. It's a beautiful looking movie. It really shows how, how talented we're getting with CG and stuff like that now. So it's worth for seeing it on the technical aspects, because I couldn't imagine the time it took in the animation that they did and the way everything looked. Like this had to have been like a really intense project to do, because everything looked really good. And yeah, so I would recommend checking it out. Like I said, 6 out of 10, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily like the worst thing on the world, because I mean I watch a lot of B horror movies, so I like bad movies. But yeah, final thoughts. It was cool. I love Donkey Kong. Donkey Kong was in it, so therefore I liked it a little bit more. And yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't check it out.
Excellent. All
Good
right,
to see you
there
too,
go.
Trace.
There you go. And now, how about let's go into the raver for the movie, Raymond. I'd like to hear your raving and final thoughts about how good the movie is and why you're recommending it. Go ahead. Final thoughts.
I love you guys.
That's a good start.
Yeah,
love
go
you guys.
ahead.
It's nice interacting with you guys, with well opinionated people. So
We should
yeah,
have this more often.
Yes.
yeah, we should do this more often.
I like
Bardagulan. In Filipino language, it's called bardagulan.
Mm-hmm.
Banter,
It
basically.
kind of translates to jamming, banter.
Jamming.
Yeah.
Pero still, I love you guys. It's been a good episode. Interacting with opinionated people regarding this, the game and the movie itself. So
I love you, Nino. Please don't disown me.
Please don't
I love
disown
you.
me.
We're
There you
I love you
go.
guys.
All right, so that's Raymond's input. Let's move on to Dan. Let's hear what Dan has to say for final thoughts.
Wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've been harsh on it. I wouldn't say it was a bad film. It's just an average film. I'd say anybody going into watching it, I'd watch it at home and make sure you can have breaks between it, because it can. I found it boring, and I was glad that I could pop and get a drink. So if you are going to watch it, give yourself space to watch it. You know what I mean? And more than anything, I guess this is my thing: is don't simp, don't accept low standard stuff just or average stuff just because it's got your favorite characters and people and things that you want to see in it. This is a good starting point because it is a starting point.
Mhm.
And like others have said, I expect sequels to be better, but I only expect them to get better if people
voice the criticisms of this movie.
Mm.
Otherwise, Nintendo and Illumination will just throw out any old rubbish, which we don't want to see. And that's what we ended up getting with the Marvel films. The Marvel films kind of descended into quite a messy,
Mm.
nondescript set of disposable films because they knew they could be careless with them and they could sell them. And I would love to see. I know I'm a Sega man, but I loved Super Mario World, and
Mm.
I would love to see a film where Mario goes on a proper journey, where he takes on Koopa's kids, where we see all these different enemies, and a proper fully fleshed Mario film. So let's hope we get that next, and fingers crossed the more movies which we'll inevitably get now from Nintendo step up in quality as well.
All right, excellent. JDM, the silent but deadly guy here. All right, JDM, let's hear what you got. I mean, I
Metal
didn't
Gear
name that.
rules.
All right, let's hear what's your final thoughts are.
Yes. Super Mario Brothers movie. It's a good movie if you're a fan of the Super Mario franchise, Nintendo. It's a like what Kuya Raymond said. It's a feel good movie. It's not like we're watching Shawshank Redemption or other films that has plot, like a wide plot that we need to, like it's not for critics, if I may say.
Mhm.
Um, it's not. I don't say it's a bad movie. It's a good movie for the whole family. If you have time, you should watch it. And I think this will help other like directors or writers to um, think that video game movies can actually be great. Looking at you, Resident Evil. Look at what Resident Evil did with their animated films. It sticks to its roots. The story, you have the story, the characters in the game. I hope this will like the writers should uh, the future writers, if they ever did another Resident Evil movie like a live action, to they really need to do their research so they can make the movies do justice. So that's it.
All right,
Enough of
excellent.
the enough of the of the Resident Evil game and movies.
Yes.
Let's go with the CGI. Much better.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so I guess that's very good. That's very good input, JDM. Let's move on over to Shin. I want to hear. Oh, here we go. Shin.
All right. Well, I mean, if this movie came out in Christmas or probably around the holidays, I would still definitely bring my family to watch it. Honestly, movies like these are meant to be watched with your whole family for enjoyment, just as like Luis Ninong Mon said. However, there is still a lot of holes in this movie that, me and the rest of us here are pretty much, as you would say, nitpicking. But I think it is our responsibility as gamers and moviegoers that we should not always try to yield and just completely accept whatever these companies are actually giving us, because believe it or not, it's not just for us. I mean, the argument is that this is meant for kids, but let's face it, there's a lot of nostalgic and 80s references that were mainly targeting us. So
Mm,
you cannot have a follow through where, it basically falls flat towards the end and say that it's for kids. But despite it all, this movie is actually a standard, not just for Nintendo itself, but also for a lot of video game to movie adaptations. If they want to actually create a movie based out of a video game, this is one of those standards where they need to actually go with the 1:1 ratio and maybe add a few elements here and there. But again, like I said, just because they're giving us a lot of eye candy does not mean that like we should just accept it. It's our responsibility to tell these companies that we love what you're doing. You're on the right track. However, let's not try to forget that if we're going to have this movie be one of those that like going to be a nostalgic for the rest of our kids in the future, let's try to hope that like these kids can actually get the same qualities of storytelling, story writing, or whatever kind of elements that we grew up with. Like I would love to have my son actually enjoy a movie and know that it was top quality rather than because it was like a 5 second flashing lights, and that just because Mario is dancing in there, everything's okay. Other than that, that's basically what I have for this movie.
Nice.
All right, I'll put in my 2 cents. I'm putting it in as a kind of a little bit like shit what Shin says. Giving my review as a dad. I'm giving my review as a father who has a child who I watched the movie with. So yes, it's a fun movie. It's a good movie. Just don't go into it expecting to come away from it with more than what you were what with more than what you were thinking initially that you were gonna get. It's a gamer movie. It's something that a lot of people who didn't play the games aren't going to get a lot of references of in, and it's not something that I'm looking forward to seeing again in the near future. It's something that I'm going to slap into the DVD player if my kid and her friends are going to be having sleepovers. I would my rating of 7 out of 10 is, I guess, pretty generous in that regard. And like what everybody says, I look forward to what they're going to be doing with the characters, with the property in the future. But as it is, the movie itself, it's a good starting point. It feels fun. It's good for what it is, but it's not something that I should like taking Raymond's advice. I should not delve too deep into its themes, I guess. And Joe, final thoughts.
You're on mute, Joe.
Oh, sorry about that. So okay.
You good luck to
Uh,
carry
vid-
it, but not that much.
all right.
Damn.
Oh, how about now?
Got you. Got you.
All right. Okay. What was I saying? Okay. Oh, uh, video game adaptations are hard to do because you're trying to make sure that you're adhering to you're adhering to the roots of the source material. You're trying to appease to the fan base, but at the same time, you need to write a decent concept story wise as a film, as a filmmaking standard as well. And yes, we do have a lot of clutter of bad movies based from video games from before, but that doesn't mean it cannot be done. We You have some examples like Arcane, Castlevania, Witcher, The Last of Us, that they're paying they're paying enough homage to the source material, but they can still expand the story.
Mm.
And to the point of these gentlemen right here, you can have you can have a rich storyline. You can improve on it. It's just on the writing, actually. Okay, you can write stuff around it, but as long as you're keeping some of those elements from the games, you're keeping the fan base happy and you're keeping the casual viewers happy as well. So it's really hard to get that balance. And as far as this movie goes, well, the original concept, two plumbers going to the mushroom kingdom, eating mushrooms, jumping over turtles, just to beat a an overgrown turtle hybrid who wants to get it on with a human princess. Sounds ridiculous if you say it out loud, but you have to write something around that, right? And the mo- the outcome of this movie, to any of you viewers right there, it will depend on how much you know about the games. You will love it depending on how much you know everything about the games. If you know about the lore, then that might distract you from the overarching problems that we have mentioned earlier. Okay. Um, like they said, yes, they will say it's a kids movie, but they're targeting the 80s, the 90s kids who grew up with Mario, or whoever, the ones who are playing the games. So you cannot really you cannot have both if you're going in that sense. Just to defend the movie. Um, so I so whether you The main problem with I had is that the references that they used here, it's their greatest strength, but at the same time, it's the greatest weakness as well. The references they're using it as a crutch. Take away those references, then this movie has no decent legs to stand on. That's just me. Okay, that's just me. So yeah, that's all really. Um, let's just do our shameless plug then.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
Yes.
Let's start with Sir Joe. Where can they find you?
All right. Thanks very much for this one. We hope everybody had a good time with this podcast. You can find me at on kick.com under Banyaging Native or on twitch.com under Banyaging Native. Just type in the search bar Banyaging Native and you will likely find my ugly mug there. Hashtag FUFB. So you'll also be able to see some of my content on the Pinoy Retro Gaming official Facebook page. And yeah, we very much hope that everybody comes away from this episode with their opinions either validated or challenged. So, on to the next one.
Your best.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Joe. Sir JDM.
Your best.
Yes, you can find me on Twitch, 123 Go Retro. I rarely stream nowadays, but if you try to catch me, just say hi on the chat and I'll greet you back.
All right, thank you for that, Sir JDM.
Oh,
Sir Matt.
hey, I just want to thank you guys for inviting me on, having me on. Sorry I didn't contribute much to this review of the movie and everything like that, but I still appreciate coming on, and I really enjoy watching you guys every Saturday. So, but yeah, you can find Bustle Plays Games. I'm Bustle, obviously. You can. It's on YouTube. Just type in Bustle Plays Games. I play mainly indie horror games. That's kind of my stick. I also do like horror movie reviews and stuff. If I add something to my collection, I'll make videos out of it. So if you're into that kind of thing, you would probably enjoy my YouTube channel. So shameless plug for Bustle Plays Games. And yeah, just thank you guys so much for having me on. This was really cool.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Matt. Chin.
You can find Chin at the Kulambo outside.
The mosquito net outside. It's a term.
I
not
think Shane is on
mosquitoes.
mute.
Oh, he's on mute right now. All right. We'll circle around back to him. Let's continue with Viraj.
Yep, you can find me on YouTube with Sedan down here and Sega Mega Masters channel, where we review old Sega Mega Drive, Master System games, retro Sega stuff. It's a lot of fun. So if you're into that sort of thing, have a look at our
Sorry, I
channel.
was checking out the couch.
Also, you know, if you also you can find us on the Sega Genesis group on Facebook as well. If you want to talk about Sega related things, all good stuff. But back to you.
Excellent. All right. Now that we have Shin back from inspecting the couch for his overnight there, go ahead, Shin. Where can we find
Yes.
you?
So now you can officially find me on the couch laying there because my wife now thinks that I am actually in love with a video game character. No, but kidding aside, you guys can reach me out through my Facebook page. You're also going to see me much more here in Timeless Gamers, also in Quantum Bidyuhan, and a lot of PRG related stuff. Just feel free to visit my page where I basically draw a lot of lewd, not so lewd, and some random things that are pretty much like our comics that I'm going to be showing in the future. Back to you guys.
Okay.
I
How about Sir Dan?
Yeah, same as Viraj says. Come and see us at the Sega Mega Masters on YouTube or in the Sega Genesis group on Facebook.
All right, thank you for that, Sir Dan. So how about Sir Ray?
PlayStation 1.
Okay, thank you so much, guys, for the great interactions
Mhm.
with you about this movie. So lately I'm not streaming because of the fact that I'm reviewing some things and nagpapakadalubhasa ako. But tomorrow I'll be streaming a game from Mega Cat Studios called Secret Line 2 on Sega Genesis. So I'm preparing my Sega
Wow.
Genesis, guys. So This is a Genesis Mini. Uy, Dan is coming up.
There you go.
So you can catch my Secret Line is 2 is a
Homebrew.
horror game from Mega Cat Studio. So Matt, you can check that out. Basically you can check that out. So yeah.
What was it called again?
Secret Line 2.
Sacred Line 2.
Shasha
Sacred Line.
Draco presents.
Second one.
something.
Second one.
And
That's out now,
you
yeah?
can check out Mega Cat Studios page for for the the game. And,
Is it a demo or full game?
actually we're kickstarting it and it's a
Oh,
demo. But
Oh,
for the past 24 hours it's already been funded 100%. So congrats
okay.
to the people that from the Mega Cat Studio and the
Nice.
producer and the developer of the game. So they can develop it in full swing na. So yeah.
Mhm.
So again, this is Retrofit Gaming and medyo I'm not streaming lately because yun. So see you when I see you guys.
Mhm.
All
All
right.
right, John.
Thank you for that survey.
Mhm.
Okay, so just to promote the show, so you can catch the previous episodes of Timeless Gamer by going to the YouTube channel Timeless Gamer PRG, or just going to the Facebook channel of Pinoy Retro Gaming as well. For our audio versions, you can just go to the major audio streaming platforms out there. Uh, and for next week, I'm just going to for our next episode rather, we are going to talk about the music in gaming, right? So and expect Sir Matt Bottle to be there as well. If it's not that active here in this episode, hopefully he'll pull up on that particular
Yes,
episode.
please. We promise you, Matt, that it's not going to be as chaotic as every episode. It's just this one. Trust us. Don't worry.
We're not
Fun.
that chaotic naman.
Yeah, we're very structured,
we're
actually.
we're,
Yeah,
we're
Mhm.
you are.
tame we're pretty tame at this point, and
Mhm.
it was such a nice experiment, rather because we wanted to do a video game review for quite some time, but we're talking
Video game movie.
among
Mhm.
ourselves video game movie
There you go.
video game movie
That-
review for quite some time, but we're not really sure on how people were going to respond to it, and how are we going to structure it amongst ourselves. So we took a poll to the Facebook gaming groups, and they voted Super Mario movie. Okay, so we're just going to schedule that, watch the movie, and then here we go, and then yeah, so here we are. And to be honest, I believe it's a successful episode, to say the least. Lots of differing points of views in regarding with this movie, which is a good thing for a podcast show. And yeah, and that's it, guys. So on behalf of those people who are part of the crew that cannot be here, this is Timeless Gamer podcast, and to all of you guys who's here joining us from the start and to the finish of the show, thank you all so much. You know who you are. Miss Momo, again, thank you so much as well for all of your troubles. You know,
My blanket woman, I need it.
you know. And that's it, guys. So our games and our bodies may grow out of date, but our gaming experiences will forever remain. Hey,
Timeless.
All right,
I
we'll
love
see
you,
you
God.
guys
I'm so
next
sorry.
week.
Good job.